We get one of the two of you for a meeting. We're doing pretty good.
I know, right?
One of the
I
other.
unmuted us, and if I can just do a housekeeping
I was rooting for.
real quick. So one of the things we've kind of implemented it with the subcommittees, but before we start, what we're trying to do is test using AI to do our minutes moving forward. So what I would request of you is to
Over talk.
try not to overtalk one another, but then if
Play
you
nice.
could just identify, just say your name before you speak, that will it'll pick up. It'll say Bob stated this or Chelsea stated this. And then I know Flavia does this already, but after motions are made, just reiterating what the motions were and what the
I'll recap the call. That's
Thank
what you're
you.
asking me to
Yes,
do? I'll do
please.
that.
So I know this will be somewhat cumbersome in the beginning, but it'll be a cost savings for the district in the long run, so we won't have to pay Infomark for minutes moving forward. So, all right, thank you. Ready when you are.
All right, everyone, thanks for waiting. So it's 2:07, and we'll go ahead and call the workshop to order. In attendance, we have Bob, myself, Flavia, Ed, and Carol, and Doug is absent.
Correct.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and we'll start discussions regarding the proposed park fee schedules. So I'll open to Carol. We'll start this way, if that's okay.
We're doing fee schedule first? You said? Or
Yes,
budget
because
first?
it's-
Okay.
Budget and fee schedule.
Because I guess we want to talk about fee schedule, so then we can implement the budget. If we talk about the budget, but then we have to change, you know what I mean? Okay.
I didn't have any issues with it.
Ed?
What I could read, I didn't have any issues with.
Bob?
That was consistent with what we've said. I don't have any issues.
I have no feedback as well.
Okay, so this is Chelsea. So what we would like to do is, I'd just like to give a compliment to staff here for the effort that we put into this. I'd like to acknowledge everything that the time and effort, the analysis. This is a starting point. I want to be clear. You know, we want to put something on paper and get started. We are going to evaluate this daily, weekly, monthly as we, open the commons and implement the things. What we'll need to do once we get to the normal meeting is set a public hearing for a future time and date certain, which we have that geared up for the regular meeting at 3. But I appreciate your patience as we see this through. So.
Looking for, what is the staff going to be looking for when they're evaluating this? What are the tools? Like, what is going to be the measurable items that it's going to come to us?
This is Chelsea. So the measurable things I would see, well, A is feedback from the community, from the public. So general concept is your membership gets you access, but it doesn't necessarily get you the additional programs on top. So the example I like to use is if you buy a pass to Disney or to SeaWorld, your day pass gets you into SeaWorld, but it doesn't necessarily get you to swim with the dolphins. You have to pay extra for that. And so the feedback on the programs and the cost of the programs, how many programs or how few programs are the measurable items, and then the whole guest concept is going to be
So I guess that's what I wanted you to think about, because if you're going to bring back to us to evaluate, either 6 months, I think 6 months, it gives you a head start. Anything before that, I don't think is necessary. But what are we looking for? How detailed can that report be? We have 5,000 residents, 3,000 already came into and picked it up. From those 3,000, 1,000 are doing just pull only. And I'm assuming because we know what they are, we can eventually get to the point like what communities are utilizing what. So
Yes.
then we know what their needs are. Like maybe Bristol Park and Cypress Cay don't have a pool, so they're higher increase on usage on the pool. Like the more details that we can get as a board, so we can then tailor the needs for the community for the recreational part. I think that's the expectation that I would like to see or direction for you, the staff. Like just give us a lot of
Usage.
detail.
Usage.
How are they getting used? Fees are the fees. The fees are not controlling if they're using it or not because it's a free for all unless they're getting into specific, items or add-ons. So I think for me, I would like to see when you come to us, not necessarily a feeling, but like this is it. And then we
The
can
data,
tailor
the raw
and say,
data.
okay, help us later on. Does that make sense, Paul?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If I can just, for the record, Paul Flores, Public Works Director, to answer, just to add to Chelsea's comment. So we're going to be looking to measure participation, demand of our programs, and of course, our operating costs. So those are the things that we're going to be looking on a day-to-day basis. Plus, we're also going to be looking at reservations, memberships, and also usage of our facilities. So those are the type of measurements we'll be bringing back to the board for analysis and maybe some direction as we tweak and look at our fee schedule.
I think we're going to start this good because that's exactly what we're going to need for budget of the following year.
Agreed.
That's correct.
So we can allocate exactly money for what the areas are without having to make a lot of movements. So that's all I have. And then, like you said, this is going to be a starting point if we ever need to change anything. I don't oversee it something, like something that needs a change right away because of usage or because of anything else. Revisit with, 6 months. That's all I have.
All right.
Ed had something.
Yeah, Ed here. Yeah, if I'm outside looking at this, an owner, and I have a guest and I want to go play pickleball because the country club is full, take that as an example. Where do I go here to determine how much it costs?
So you're a resident.
I'm a resident and I've got a guest, outside guest.
You,
Where does it show what I have to pay for the guest to play the pickleball?
as of how this is written, you get one guest per member to take to the pickleball courts, no charge.
Per day, right?
Yes.
Per day, okay.
And again, we could cut this, we've talked internally 20,000 variations of the things. And guest privileges is one of the big points of contention. So that is something we are going to keep an eye on. Back to participation, how many people are actually using it? Well, how many people are actually signed in and reserved these courts or checked in at this facility?
And again, what's the asterisk mean?
For
Under programming, there's a bunch of asterisks, but I couldn't find any ID of the.
proposed, up at the top is the key, just because it was a convoluted mess. So we just did a simple key of proposed.
We don't have it.
Oh,
Yeah, I was going to say.
oh,
For that.
They cut the key.
it's not on the printed version. It's on the online version. You can see it up here.
Oh, cut
I
it
zoom
off.
in.
And they
Okay,
didn't.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
sorry about that.
This is Carol. This is the middle of July, and I know from many years ago, when I had boys in football, they always started August 1st. Have we seen a decrease in rental for the fields over here for either football or soccer or anything? Or are they signing up again, or what is happening?
This is Chelsea. So because we are transitioning to switch the programs from Facilitron to Civic Rec,
Oh, okay.
ideally, we're trying to get Civic Rec up and live and functioning. I did see a post on the community page the other day that the leagues themselves are starting to get signups, which means they're going to be reserving the fields from us. Our goal is to get it in Civic Rec and have them put in Civic Rec, but worst case scenario, we'll run it through Facilitron if we don't have that transition in time. But
Well, we don't know yet.
typically, they do it what month?
Well, they started registering.
Can you just come up to can you just stand up? Thank you.
Jerry Runyon, Parks and Recreation. They started registrations, but we don't have any numbers yet. We won't get that till probably around, I told them, give us till at least August 15th. Put
Really?
it into Civic Rec, yeah.
They don't start practice and stuff at,
No, they don't start till
Oh.
around September 7th.
back in Illinois, it was always August 1st, man.
No, football, that's.
August 1st. The pads go on, yes.
All right.
I
So
don't have anything else.
there's nothing else about the fee schedule. We can shift over to the budget.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have a couple questions?
Yes, Paul Flores again. Board, we have a few questions that we need some direction on. One is in regards to parking. Are we to waive parking fees for those residents that are ADA? So anyone with a handicap pass, are we to charge them the $2?
We're back on fees.
Yes,
I'm
I'm sorry. We're back on fees. Just three things we want to clarify
Okay.
to get some direction.
But that's pretty
Do
typical.
you want my
That's very
answer?
typical for any parking that's public or that you pay for. If you're ADA compliant, you don't pay. You get on the beach, you got to pay unless you're in the handicap spot. Then you don't
So
pay.
that's what my question. So at the county, do they charge for, if you have a handicap flag for parking, do they differentiate that?
You differentiate.
I'm asking Paul, thank you,
Oh,
Paul.
I'm helping.
That's a good question, Flavia.
Because I do
didn't-
not
I
believe
didn't-
so,
I
because
did
I believe
not-
that would be fall under discrimination on the other way around. But they get the parking spot.
What'd you do at the beach?
Do they have to have a license?
Oh, yeah.
Gotta
have the placard or the blade.
Placard.
Okay, so we can address that question. So my experience at the beach was no, we did not charge, but they had to be in the ADA compliant parking stall itself.
Right.
If they chose not to park in the ADA stall,
Exactly.
then they had to pay.
If the ADAs are full and the only thing left is a regular, then you pay.
No, I just like to see what the county is doing for it, just for guidance, because I have no idea. I would just see.
You're not old
it's
enough
all
yet.
for, I'm glad that my age does not require me to be ADA compliant or not, Bob. Thank you.
I'm here for you.
Okay, thank you for that. And we will look into the county, see how they handle that. Next question is, are we waiving parking fees for events hosted or co-hosted or co-sponsored by the district?
Give
I
me
was-
an example.
The holiday, I would say 4th of July.
4th of July.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go, the reason why we did this is to bring revenue in-house, right? So that is an opportunity that we're literally going to say, there's an opportunity to us to make money to offset our costs, to then benefit the residents. Let's go ahead and waive it so we can then charge the residents. So my opinion on it, the whole reason why we went with parking was to offset some of their costs. Why would I be waiving the parking? Does that? Because
I agree. I agree.
that's what we did it for.
But just not owners, not for owners.
How can you differentiate?
Owners
the
don't
car?
pay for the parking,
But
correct?
you won't differentiate it
No,
in the
for
car.
events, yeah, as long as it's an owner, then unless you're doing an event that you're going to charge parking for whatever reason, but if it's an owner, no
Okay.
charge.
Let me give another example. And correct, yes, if Gateway residents, they get their parking pass free of charge. They don't pay to park at the
It
events.
doesn't matter what
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, exactly. Farmers market is another example. These are some of that it's not necessarily an event, but it's a program that we put on. And so now we're trying to entice people to come to the farmers market.
They have to pay.
And now they're going to have to pay the $2 an hour to park. So these are all some of the questions that have come up. And if the stance is, it is, our fees are what our fees are, we're fine with that. We'll make sure we implement that.
We're going to find
Or we
conditions.
can- we
We
can come
waive it
back-
for everything, then we didn't make any money.
So that was the point of,
Or we can come back to this
I
at a
do,
later
I do
date.
think a farmer's market, it would be an exception that I'll be willing to do because most of the people are not here more than 30 minutes.
Where's the farmer's market going to be located?
At the Commons.
At the new one?
Yes.
So usually, I've been to it. I mean, there, even if you visit every single booth, you're here for 30 minutes. If you eat, 45 minutes, you know? So that is an event that is a fast turning, a revolving door. It's not an event to let's sit and have fun. So top of mind, the holiday one will be the one that I would charge because we don't even know if they live in Gateway or not and we pay for it, right? 4th of July, I would charge. Farmers market, me personally, I would waive. If there's a musical event, I would charge. Like any other event, I
Fishing
would
derby,
charge. I
we
think the
charge.
farmers market, just because the length of time that they'll be utilizing, it's not.
How long does
Let
it take to
us
buy a
do
unicorn?
this. So what we can do, we'll put together the list of events that we have scheduled for next fiscal year. We can bring that back in front of you and you can make the decision. Because in the parking rules, you guys have the authority to waive or to
Just
choose.
indicate what items are exempt.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You had another one. You only did two.
I think that clarifies.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the
Just two.
farmer's market specifically, could you have a zone of 20-minute parking? You're gonna get in and out, no charge, but if you're gonna be there a while, then you go to the other spots. Just an idea.
Yeah, and that, I'm sure we could probably implement that, saying, if you're here during
The-
this window,
The farmer market is only like 9 to 1.
yeah,
It's
so
not-
we
the-
could
The
say
event itself, it's not even that long.
not charge parking during that time
Yeah.
span, and then if you're here before that or after that, it's
But
very
do we charge
flexible.
the people that are parking to sell?
Well,
So if I'm a farmer selling my wares, do I have to pay?
the farmers, we partner with, the farmers market people pay us,
Yes, they pay us a monthly.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So, yeah, all right, so Tony, I do have a question for you, because you probably, guys, for me, it's really hard, like, to focus. Regarding paying for just some guidance, I know they're gonna bring backs. What is your legal stand on charging handicap versus non-handicap for parking?
Only curious, haven't checked that, I will do the research again just to see what the pattern or practices are.
You have no opinion?
No, I don't, that's the first time I've heard of it,
Okay.
so I'm not gonna, so I'll look it up now.
Well, you're here, so I figured make you work for it.
No, well, while you're
Charge
talking,
us later for
I
it.
know.
while you're talking the budget, I can research that.
All right, sounds like a plan. All right.
This is Bob again, one last question on that, and we'll put it to bed. If the consensus of the board is, we'll conform to what the county does, or other municipalities, they'll be given direction. If it's anything different than free, and I know they're all free, but if it's anything different, then bring it back to us.
I'm fine with that.
Yep.
Thank you for that direction, Chelsea.
You guys are too healthy.
So, this is Chelsea, if you're, sorry, we're ready to move on to the budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is unchanged, other than Pelican and their subcommittees have had some discussions, and they're still discussing until this comes back to you for the public hearing and the final budget. So they've got a couple more stabs at it, but generally, nothing has changed on this budget. So if you'd like to go one by one, or if there's any further discussions you'd like to have, please be kind, because Laura is not here and this is her baby.
So I was Flavia Walsh here. So I would say this, all of us were able to review it. I think to be cleaner, we can go one by one. And if Carol has anything, no matter what page, we'll go over her concerns, then we'll go over Ed's, we'll go over Bob's, and then myself.
Okay.
Because there will be less of going back and forth.
Okay.
Would that be okay? Who wants to go first? Want to go first, Bob? So I
Sure.
don't make it Carol do everything first.
Okay. Let me find my page with notes. On page 5 of 30, the very last item on the bar graph, or the graph, is GIS mapping.
What page?
5 of 30 or what's on the
Bring
website?
forth approved budget, 5 of
It's
30.
what on
Oh,
the, it's what's on the
five,
website,
okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry, thank you.
Allocation of 2027 allocation of shared cost. Okay, here we've got a charge of 59,000 for GIS mapping. And if I'm reading this correct, it has been allocated 50/50 between general fund and Pelican and enterprise. We together on that? Okay, what are we charging Pelican for? Pelican already pays 50,000 a year for GIS mapping. We do not participate in the second endeavor, and never have, and I don't plan on participating now.
So the question, Chelsea, the question is why are you paying additional?
Over the 50,000. Why are we being charged greater than the 50,000?
This cost is for basically the endeavor of having Tetra Tech take in all of our easements, all of our
We haven't
plastic.
decided on yet. We haven't decided to do that. We haven't canceled the GIS mapping contract with Passarella. So until such time as there's an offset, like we as a board transition to the Tetra Tech initiative, I don't want to be paid for anything.
Okay,
That's my opinion. We're paying $50,000 a year.
So you're paying right now, this said, so you would be paying a third of 30,000, correct?
That's what this is asking for.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm saying, if you look further in the budget on the O2 account, we're already paying 50 grand. I don't want to pay 50 grand to Passarella and then turn around and contribute 20 or 30 or whatever to somebody else.
So Chelsea O'Reilly, District Manager. The Tetra Tech initiative is to get all of our GIS, all of our assets, all of our easements, all of the plats into Cartograph, into SeeClickFix to have one system and do away with the Pelican Passarella GIS. So that effort, the majority of that effort with moving all of Pelican's items over to Tetra,
Go ahead.
over to Tetra Tech, utilizing Tetra Tech, a big lift of that has occurred this year. There are still easements that need to be recorded and confirmed. They're looking at as-built. They're looking at plats, all of these things, and having one big system that, in essence, the Passarella GIS, because they've told us that they're not going to house it anymore, is going to go away. So your
I
proportionate,
understand the big portion. I'm with you.
your proportionate share
But,
is.
but everything you're asking for, we've already got in the Passarella GIS. That's already there. It's no more than an electronic transfer from them to here. There's
Correct.
not a lot of research. There's certainly not $30,000 worth of research.
There are still missing items on the Pelican side that this is Pelican's share of everything district related. So the plats, the maps, the easements, that is the big
And we
lift
got that. That's already done.
that you do not have that.
Would beg to differ, but okay. There may be some minor revisions, but we paid $50,000 to get it. Very simply, when that 50 goes away, when we stop paying Passarella, then certainly we'll participate in whatever it costs to run the system over here. Because now we've been doing this with Passarella for 15 years. So it's what you're doing in the district, what the district needs to do over here is to start and do it. It's very different than what we've already accomplished. You're trying to catch up, right? And then we want to move it in-house. And I agree with all of those things. But I don't agree that you're charging me twice. Everything's there for 50, and if it's not all there, you tell us what we want, we'll get it there. And once that's done, and we sever the relationship with Passarella, then it's appropriate to charge over
Well,
there.
the intent is to move away from Passarella.
Give me a date when we're going to move, and we stop paying for the other system.
It should be as part of this budget. You
Well,
should
then, no,
not.
if that's the case, then we got to reduce the Pelican by 50.
I would strongly recommend that the Passarella,
That's
the
a-
Pelican's portion
That's
side.
That's a
Be
charge
reduced.
and a discussion that has not happened with PPAC.
Correct, because they produce their budget and present it up. Now, if they have one-offs, like we know that if you want to engage with Passarella to do additional research on specific things, like additional landscape easements or things like that, that is where that Pelican-specific GIS budget comes. But to host and to have a database, that is where this general fund shared allocation is at moving
Okay,
forward.
help me, I'm still not.
Flavia, so I think this would be something that I will agree with Bob in the sense that would remove out of Pelican. So it would definitely be a notation.
At whatever
for-
time it's
for-
appropriate, yeah.
If it is within this budget, that is definitely something that we need to communicate with PPAC, like in the sooner the better.
And that's not
because
come
it-
up yet.
Yeah, because, we have another meeting before the budget approval, so that, so if you reach out, if we have anything else, but that
let's-
is something that I would agree, removing from your Pelican account.
Because
Be-
this is Bob again, PPAC is still actively engaged with
get it.
Passarella. This past week, we got another new map because of the landscape barriers and getting things like that updated and revised to what we're really doing.
I'm not privy to those communications, so I wasn't aware Pelican was still engaging with Passarella.
If you tuned into the PPAC meeting, you would find that because they're doing, I'm not being snide, but it's an active thing between Ed Hedges and them. And we're constantly updating. They're doing other things, related to fencing and all this other stuff.
Let's talk about that, because
Okay.
in my eyes, the board has already approved the task authorization with Tetra Tech for us to do all of this GIS services.
That I agree.
And so.
Didn't include Pelican. First time I've heard it included Pelican.
Okay, well,
I thought it was the whole thing. So I'm now gonna go to, I thought it included one place hosts everything. I think he included Pelican.
I agree with that.
What I don't agree is paying from both ends, and I think
Right.
the reduction shouldn't be on this budget here. It should be on the Pelican budget by
As
that.
long as we're ready as a community to make the move.
Say it.
But I've never heard anything that we're ready to make the move.
Why can't we go to Tetra Tech and have them identify what the estimated cost or percentage of cost is of addressing anything that has to do with Pelican? Be done with it.
That's
Because if this has nothing to do with Pelican and there is no cost of taking the stuff that Passarella has done and transferring over, and that's no cost, then I would understand why it would be zero.
Then I'm
But
okay
if
with that.
there is a cost, that's what I was understanding, that there was a cost associated with taking Passarella's data and converting it over.
this is Chelsea. We've incurred those costs this year, and we're doing these things in phases. So the initial push was to pull what we have over. Now this next push is to pull all plats, which you don't have all of the plats on GIS, to pull all
I don't think I agree with that. but go
all
ahead.
easements, all dedicated easements to the district identified in GIS layers. Those are the two big lifts for next year
Have not been
that
done.
have not occurred. Now, could we quantify how many plats are in Pelican and how many hours they're going to estimate and get it down to the penny? Yeah, we could.
I'm not willing to do that. If we move it in totality over here and don't use Passarella and then add whatever we want, I'm okay with that.
That's the intent.
Well,
We
again,
can-
go
we
right
can-
back to, then delete it from the PPAC
Okay.
budget and I'm okay.
Agreed. I think we need to do that.
Okay? That's the biggie. And I had a couple comments on attorney's fees. Why do we have so many different columns for attorney's fees? Almost every sheet's got money. Why don't we just pay you a flat rate and you do it all?
Tony Pierce, for the record, from a standpoint of, I think, budgeting and allocation as to where it goes, there are discrete categories that we've created. One's general, one's for water and sewer, one's for drainage, one's for roads, one's for park and recreation, one's for Pelican Preserve. And then if we have individual litigation matters, we create a separate file for that to track it just for that file.
It goes to different silos. Your fees go to different silos.
And I understand that, but can't we pay them $10,000, 3,000's Pelican, 2,000's this, 2,000, and identify the silos. I'd like to see a comprehensive approach, or at least from a budgetary point of view. What do we pay? When it's all chopped up on 14 different pages, I can't follow it. Just a suggestion.
I think-
Well, wouldn't you like to know how much we pay them a year?
That's part of the system, I think, of when you do the silos, is that you make sure that you allocate the appropriate cost to the appropriate silo. If he doesn't have any cost, let's say, take for roads, then there'll be no fees associated with roads.
Wait a
But
minute,
if it's
Tony Pierce.
all on enterprise, then it'll be all on enterprise.
Yeah,
So
Tony Pierce, for the record, for example, that whole idea, the issue with the oak tree coming down, since that was in a road right of way, and I put that to the roadway one. There's a separate discrete 7689.004, which we build to that. So that when.
Well, this is Bob. I'm not quibbling about the elements. I would just like to see a comprehensive cost.
This is Chelsea. So you'd like to see how much we can run a report and how much the attorneys charge us.
I would like to, and does it change year every year? Is it going up, going down? That's all.
Yeah, and Tony Pierce, I can quickly run client ledger sheets for each of those accounts. So you can see the amount annually and monthly.
Over time, then I'd be fine.
Laura can run you a report based on attorney's fees, engineering fees, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I'd like to see it for
And
engineering
As a
too, right,
total,
yeah.
as a total, we can do that.
And a year-over-year comparison, we're going up and going down.
But with regards to putting them in the different silos,
Didn't suggest that.
okay.
I just want to
You just
understand.
want to know how much we've
I
spent.
see all these components
can
and
do
I
that.
can't understand.
We can do that.
All right, the next one, I'm on page 12 of 30. 27 operating budget, Pelican Reserve 02, and under expenditures. if you look at about the 6th item down, developer and resident reviews. We didn't have a charge in 26, and we're doing 5,000 in 20. What are we doing? Developers out of there.
No. On page 12 of what line item, I'm sorry?
In the middle of administrative services.
6 items down under admin.
So this is here. So we have, this is Chelsea again. Expenses for, we do have development reviews that are coming in. So we've got, we pay Tetra Tech to do our reviews. We collect any EAUs, money for EAUs. We have staff, we have expenses for the easement use agreements, but more so we've got Daniels Parkway Apartments.
This is a Pelican item. And I'm saying Pelican's done with this. Why are you charging me for a Pelican item?
So Pelican, let me ask this. Pelican pays into the shared allocation. This is Pelican's proportionate share of being within the district of all of our costs.
That's what I thought.
Well, then why is it under 02? Wouldn't that be an 01?
That will be your cost.
This is the,
That'll be your
share
true
of
cost,
that
that you're
cost.
sharing that cost. So you're getting 5,000 and then we'll get whatever it's.
And I didn't pay it last year, but now I pay it this
we
year?
we might not have had reviews last year. This year,
I don't know of any this year either, but go ahead.
Because you don't have a budget of, you just have budgeted, you don't have an actual. What is it? Can you pull real quickly the financials for last month? Because you would know if you have this.
that's next.
And I recognize, Laura knows what this stuff is. So I'm just throwing the question out. I'm willing to wait for the answer, but I'm saying, I don't
we have-
understand that.
This, Bob, if you
Yeah.
go to page 7 of 30, under general fund, you'll see the same thing only for 10,000. So it's the 1/3, 2/3 again.
Yes, it is the shared administrative
That's what I-
costs we have developer reviews that we incur costs from Tetra Tech and the attorney. The attorney has a separate fee that they charge for developer reviews. So as new developments come in, this is their shared allocation.
So every single item in this category is shared.
Yes.
You're going back to page 5.
No, I'm looking at page 12. We've got, 11 items there or whatever. And what, if I understand what Ed said, all this is a repeat of what was on 5 under shared. I didn't look at it that way. I will look at it. And then we got a charge for utility lift station further down on operational admin
225?
of $255. I just wonder what is that?
Hold on, one thing at a time, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Page 12.
So develop,
Compare them, they're pro rata all the way down the line.
yes, it is
Yeah.
the shared allocation page.
Yeah.
So I don't see developer reviews under expenditures. Flavia, you asked about that in the budget. I don't see that
And it
on
could,
here.
I mean, and without Laura being here, it could be an item that was in a different line item that now we just broke down to more details because I don't.
Well, but then it would have had a
recall
pass cost.
Well, if,
seeing that. Necessarily, if you had one item, apple, and now the apple is no longer apple, it's banana and orange, the apple is gone, banana and orange are plus.
It's the same item. There would have been pass cost.
If it's the same item, but if there were more than one items within that description, you know what I mean, the description itself, that's. what
Well,
I'm
we're looking for reasons to justify it. I'm seeing nothing one year, 5,000 this, and I don't know of any
Bob,
activity.
this is Chelsea. Let me look into this one because really there should be
Okay.
an offset of the cost revenue.
It should have been offset in a different category of $5,000 that
Okay.
will count for
We
that.
collect
So it's
from the
lowering-
developer. So what happens is a developer comes in, I'll take the Gateway Church across the street. We have a pre-application meeting with them next week. They're gonna come in because they're gonna develop. So they come in, they submit their application. We all review, it's like a permitting process.
Yep.
We incur fees from the attorney, we
And
incur
we have a
fees
fund to
from,
pay for that, right?
and we incur fees from the engineer. Well, we collect those fees from the developer, so it should be an offset, but the actual expense, because it's a shared expense amongst everybody, it's back to your 1/3, 2/3. So then when we collect the revenue should be offset
1/3, 2/3.
1/3, 2/3. But we have to budget for expenses because we know we're gonna have expenses.
Okay, I'll come over and get a one-on-one because it's still not completely clear.
Okay.
And going on to the next page, 13 of 30, we're back to the GIS thing. It said we had an adopted budget of 10,030 in 26. I don't believe that's true. And it said the budget for 27 is 10,000. We didn't pay anything in 26. And if we did, well, we ought to get a credit back. Because we're paying 50 grand a year to Passarella. I don't want to be paying twice. And I don't recall ever having seen that being charged to us before.
Okay, it was, this is Chelsea. The GIS mapping was in the shared allocation page, and that was shared across the entire district. So you're looking at things as.
That shouldn't have been, okay, in my opinion, since we've already got all the data and it's just an electronic transfer, we already paid for it once, paid handsomely over the years. We shouldn't be paying for the new one until we break free of the old.
To be clear, it's not free to transfer the data without having somebody.
$10,000, you can do a whole lot of electronic transfer for $10,000.
I want to be clear, it's not free because you still, like, the engineer is still having to spend time to do it. Their services are not free. Like Passarella doesn't do things for free.
I know, but once they've done it, you don't reinvent the wheel because you have someone else reporting it, being a GIS Tetra Tech or Marion, what's that fellow's name over here that does it?
Austin?
Austin.
But to be clear, we take it from Passarella and we put it into the GIS system. There's an effort and a cost associated to do that. Even though you think it's just a simple transfer, it's not a simple transfer. It's not just a download and upload. You have to do classifications of assets. You have to make it match into the new system. But we can talk about that offline.
This is Carol. You mean somebody at Tetra Tech is basically entering all this data again?
We've pulled it. Oh, this is Chelsea. We've pulled it over. We make sure that the asset, whatever Passarella has called it, if it's an irrigation, that it talks to our new system. So there might be some tweaks, but for the most part, there's still an effort to pull it over and to upload. It's not just free.
Well, we could always align with their, why make a new category if they've got a satisfactory category? But we're getting into the weeds. I don't want to get. And last but not least, Lake Bank Restoration Fund for 006, page 17 of 30. Shows we are, how do you get there? We're going from 1 million in 26 to 9 million in 27. Did I miss something here?
We are anticipating, this is Chelsea, we are anticipating the
State funds.
state funds. So we have to put the money out and then we get reimbursement from it. So those 21 ponds that we have anticipated, this is.
If we don't get the state funds, it doesn't come back to us to spend the money, or?
We don't have a funding source. You would have to tell me of a funding source if we proceeded with the projects or not.
That's what I'm saying. If we don't get the state funds, do we get
Yeah, I would.
It comes back here?
Yes, absolutely.
When you say state funds, it's said, are you talking about grants?
Yes.
Okay.
The HMGP.
So of the 8 million increase, is that going to be in assessments? But you said we got to put it out. Are we raising the average assessment for a gateway home by $8 million?
No, it is offset by the proceeds.
But we don't have it yet. That's what you're telling me.
It's a cash floating mechanism. And Stephen, you can chime in at any point, but he's on hold. But it's a cash flow mechanism. We have to budget for the things. Instead of offsetting it with revenues from assessments, we're offsetting it with revenues from grant proceeds or what we call as loan
This
proceeds.
is Bob, and I follow you. And I'm saying, in the event the grant doesn't come through, it stops until we go.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, that's all I want
Yeah.
to know. I thought
I
it
would
looked
not-
like it was in the assessment.
I said,
I would not spend the money
I was
without.
asking her.
So there's a decision to be made.
Well, it
Yes.
could be. If we
Yeah.
get the money from the state, there's no decision. We'll happily spend it. in the form of a grant.
Yes, there is no intent on doing those without having the grant monies. We will wait for the grant monies.
Okay, I think that's all I had.
All right. Carol?
I don't have anything. I think, I personally am comfortable with the high water mark figures. I know that PPAC is discussing exactly where they're going to budget certain things for next year. If they're going to put off doing one of the big ponds and collect and only assess for 300,000 as opposed to 600,000. And it makes a difference in the way things
Some of the
turn out.
assessments, yeah.
So it's line item adjustments, but the adjustments would make a difference to what is levied as opposed to what is budgeted for spending. But they're still discussing that, and they know they have to make a decision. There's a ponds committee meeting before we meet again on our final budgeting in August. So I think we just need to give them time to work through all of the different possibilities.
Okay. So if we can go to page 19, I just have some questions and
Page 19.
so, right, oh, down, go up, go back up. Okay, sorry, right there.
Give me a minute
So-
to get caught up, wait a minute. I can't read you.
I hear you.
One of those ADA things again. Okay, I'm on page 19.
You're not using the right term, it's not 88, but it's okay.
Handicap. You'll be old.
All right. Difference between vehicle maintenance and vehicle operations.
Fuel,
That's what I thought. Okay, I just want to make sure. Any particular reason why our vehicle maintenance, because we didn't get any more vehicles, literally double? I just look at items that literally we doubled in cost. So that was one. We went from 11,000 to 20. I mean, we double.
I will have to get with Laura and get back to you on that.
That's a one.
So in full transparency, I don't know if this is a methodology mechanism.
Oh, me neither. So, so if you want to write this down,
Yep.
so that's my question. So vehicle maintenance double, cellular service double.
That ties back to staff.
We double in staff? Because that's how I look at it. We double the bill for cell phones, that means we have twice as much cell phone, that means we have too much staff, and we don't.
Vehicle could be, they said, vehicle deal just could be an age issue and in addition to numbers. So that's,
Like 8-year cycle
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
vehicles.
But it wouldn't be under operations, it wouldn't be in there, if it was a site, you know what I mean?
Okay,
It's the
it's
time.
capital.
So, exactly, so the vehicle increased just because it doubled, the cell phone because it doubled, I thought maybe it had to be with Parks and Recs under having to have more camera, more sales items there, I don't know.
I'll find out.
So that's just a question.
Okay.
Um,
Well, the cellular service right up here, it only went up $1,000.
no, there's.
It
and then
says
that-
7,000 what I'm reading. Cellular service,
Are you under, are you on,
page 20.
Tony,
Utility.
maybe under telephone and fax.
are you
that went
under
up.
utilities?
No, I'm back, I'm
I'm on
20.
utilities. You're on 20.
I thought it was 20, hold on.
See it on 20 at all.
This is Tony, I think on
to
page
say again,
18,
the
they
other thing
telephone
on those
internet
vehicles, it
was
could be if they
9,000.
run out of
18? Yeah,
warranty,
okay.
you've got additional expense.
What is it, 18?
Bobby? You're under telephone?
Oh,
Telephone,
yeah, it
internet,
went from 1,300 to
the
9,000.
new admin building. We have the telephone, fax, internet, getting services up there. Lines up there, 2 different service lines up
We're not
there.
eliminating lines.
We will
down here to offset?
at the Fairway Lakes, but we're putting in 2 new lines, and the contracted service for new services up at the new site is more expensive than what we have now at the Fairway Lakes
Is the
office.
service more expensive?
Yes. The
Only
service is
2
more.
lines?
for 2 communication services to the admin building.
Is this with Comcast
I
Business?
think we're doing both. From what I recall, Laura was going to get a CenturyLink and a Comcast line. That way we had redundant internet at the admin building. That way we never lost communication, just like what we have here. But this contracted amount, which was done like 10 years ago versus the new contracted rates that we're getting, is a lot higher. That is, but I can confirm with Laura for the
My
next meeting.
personal experience is that my internet and phone are going down, not up. We're getting better deals.
Please send me whoever your person is.
We're with Hotwire, but I'll be happy to.
Yeah.
Commercial, because it's,
It's residential, it's a package deal.
no, because it's not a company. Like for my gate, I pay 3 times more than I pay, the internet for my gate, which is just used to the call in, is 3 times more than I pay at my house. Just because it's commercial.
And you don't beat them up?
Ours is the same way.
Yeah,
every
it's
gate.
just because it's commercial. The service doesn't really change. It's just one is commercial and one is not.
I will make a note of that and we can get you an answer at the next meeting.
Then, IT licenses. And I have it on page 19, but I can't find it now. All right. So billing IT licensing fees, we had none and now it's $12,000. What, I thought we were doing,
Page 19, it's 30,000. Oh, no,
no, 19.
excuse me, I said it wrong.
Yeah. So I thought, like, are we changing our billing?
We changed, we had to upgrade with Kuzi this year to be compliant, but I will find out exactly what, that, I believe that is the Kuzi fee with the new system.
But isn't there a $30,000 offset at 2 lines up?
No, this is something else. This is just for billing IT services.
I'm with you. But if you look 2 lines up, billing IT support assets management, didn't that, or just support, one of them's dropped 30,000. I kind of looked
So
at
maybe
those two as an
note, like,
offset.
I guess for me, notes on this offset, like how, how you used to have notes like this offsets this line, so I would know. And then,
Gave you the clean version. We didn't give you the.
no, it's
edited.
okay.
To my knowledge, it is where we had the upgrade of Kuzi with the billing IT.
That's it. That's how I was just looking at stuff that increased by double. And then, given that we're going to take, are you planning on doing any reduction, given that we're in a trial for the new minutes?
I
mean, it's something so small, we just leave it there for now, but
I would leave it there for now. We did have some additional incurred costs to get Copilot licenses, Microsoft Copilot licenses. I mean, nominal, but it's in the long run, it's gonna be far less than what we were paying Infomark to do the fees, to do the minutes. So
I don't have anything else. Anybody else miss anything? Nothing? Okay.
Madam Chair, Tony
Yes,
Pierce,
Tony.
just on the parking issue. I've gone to the Lee County website where they give the premium parking information for various facilities. The downtown Fort Myers Lee County parking, they have all these rates, and at the bottom, there's a note that says, vehicles with accessible parking permits or license plates are required to pay standard parking rates. Parking is free for disabled veterans with vehicles that have a disabled veteran license plate. That's the parking lot downtown.
Okay, so Bob, so it's disabled veterans, not disabled.
Signs that, I've never seen that sign.
Yeah, and there's another sign, but Lee County Parks has a different standard. Lee County Parks, vehicles with a disabled veteran license plate, specific mechanical modifications for disability accommodations, and those with a Florida toll exemption pass don't need to pay.
I would be fine with that.
Yeah, that seems like that's broader, and that's the same thing for Lee County beach parking.
As recently as a week ago in Sanibel, it's free.
That's-
Well,
Without
you said
the-
the county, now you say San,
Well, that's part of the county, I think, isn't it?
somewhere in Florida, just pick Winter Park.
Charge them.
So that's just Lee County's premium parking
I will be
website.
open to the veterans because we did have, I don't know if you guys recall, 2 meetings ago, we did had a gentleman that was asking Phil Malatorno, wow, good memory. Oh, vitamins are
I'm surprised you were here 2 meetings ago.
right? He did mention about like if they were willing to do anything for veterans, so that could be something that would
I would
satisfy,
definitely support that.
you know what I mean? So,
That's our perk for him.
yeah. I mean, if it's actually not initiated by us, it's initiated by them asking, I'm fine.
Certainly not many of them.
So the direction was still to follow the Lee
Follow what you
counties.
have
Well, Lee
provided.
County, Lee County parking lots or Lee County beach parking, because the beach parking has the different one with regards to the vehicles with specific mechanical modifications for disability accommodations, and those with a Florida toll exemption on top
Well,
of.
they're talking about the ones that have the ramp that come out.
Yes, correct.
Well, I'm
Or
not-
like the
I'm not
road-
into
yeah,
that,
I'm not
but-
in- I think I'll be fine waiving for veterans.
Disabled vehicle-
Disabled, yeah,
veterans
veterans with
license
the
plate.
disabled vehicles with the tags or license plate.
Yeah, you're just handicap pay.
I'm not gonna say it because Tony will yell at me and it's not appropriate. I leave the inappropriate stuff to you. All right.
to
We'll go
discipline
ahead and
you.
take a recess of 5 minutes and come back at 3 o'clock. All right, thank you.
Left.
I built 9 times and I never did more than 120 days,
Ready when you
mostly
are.
than 90.
All right, so it's 3:09. Well, let's go ahead and stand up for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I thought Doug was going to be here for this one.
Here it is, online. So roll call in attendance, we have Bob, myself, Flavia, Ed, and Carol. And I do believe we have Doug, so I need a motion to allow Doug to fully participate in this meeting
I
remotely
so move.
to do second, in exceptional circumstances. So we
Oh,
have,
this is Bob. I so move.
so Bob made a motion, Ed second. Let's go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Welcome, Doug. Approval
you.
of the
I'm in
final
Brazil.
agenda. Well, I hope I left the house clean for you. He's in Brazil.
I move to approve the final agenda.
We have a motion by Carol to move the, approve the final agenda.
Second.
Second by Ed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Go ahead and move to,
Motion passes unanimously.
do you want me to say that?
Yes.
Please.
All right. Public comment. Do we have anything?
I have no sign up of public comment. Or just kidding.
All right.
We have one sign up for public
Perfect.
comment.
You're also happy to see me?
There we go.
All right, Teresa Nelson,
Yes.
go ahead.
Okay, so, hello again. I first spoke to you April 2nd regarding the FPL transmission line project. I'm here to update you on Hampton Park and its new FPL team. As of today, there are over 20 people in the group. We've been communicating through emails about the effects of this project on our neighborhood. Tonight, we're going to meet for the first time. This is a group of Hampton Park residents who are concerned about the transmission line project moving closer towards every cul-de-sac in our neighborhood. The update you're receiving today from the district manager is a Q&A from Cameron Crenshaw, FPL Corporate Real Estate Manager. Item number 3 in this update basically states that they plan on clear cutting the entire easement. Mr. Crenshaw notes the NERC guidelines for the reason to do this. And according to internet research, the NERC guidelines do not strictly require clear cutting under transmission lines. This stance is an FPL default because it's cheap and easy. An email that I received from Michelle King, the project manager, acknowledges that they are trying to retain as much vegetation as possible. They're looking for opportunities for retention and using directional pruning and offering an evaluation by a certified arborist. These two are mixed messages, but the message from Michelle King, the project manager, is the one I want to believe and the one I want to hope that the Gateway Board of Supervisors will get behind and advocate for. While every cul-de-sac in Hampton Park and Hampton Park's entrance will be affected by this transmission line project, so will all of Gateway residents. The new Commons Park has a trailhead that leads to Linear Park. The new resident guide touts the Linear Park as a recreational amenity. Gateway Boulevard itself will change as another set of transmission lines cuts through the wooded area and crosses the curve in the road nearing Stony Brook. This project is a big deal, and it's a shock to our community. I'm here to ask that Gateway Services CDD and the Board of Supervisors stay involved and proactive in this project. As Hampton Park concerned residents meet tonight, I'm not sure what the collective action is going to be going forward. But I do know that Gateway owns this land, and you, as a Board of Supervisors, volunteer and care about our community, and you have connections and clout from 40 years of dealing with development and utilities. Please help us go forward with this project with the attitude stated by Michelle King. The area along Hampton Park and the Linear Park is a very small part of this project. FPL is a multi-billion-dollar company that wants to save every dime on this project, while our community residents are concerned about our property values and our neighborhood aesthetics. This is our one chance to handle this project carefully. We're asking for your help.
Thank you.
So do you have a specific, are you asking something specific? Or I'm sorry, this is Carol. Are you asking for something specific?
Yes, in all the dealings that you have, to not take everything at face value. We're getting different messages. I personally met Mr. Crenshaw, and he didn't know the land. He doesn't care. He will clear cut tomorrow up to the hedge in Hampton Park. Michelle King, I wrote her on the email, which is incorrect, I've been told by Charlotte Miller. It's nextenergy.com, so whatever email you're putting on the website is not getting answered as far as I know. It needs to be corrected. She had a different attitude in her letter, and she seemed to care, and she seemed to act like they will handle this, maybe with a little caution.
Maybe I should ask the question in a different way.
Yeah,
Is your meeting tonight, are you hoping that there's a plan for action from Hampton Park to come out of the meeting tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think,
And consolidate our message.
okay, so I think also, and I don't know, Carol, but what I hear is what you're asking for, you know it's coming, they're not going to stop it. What is the most amount of trees that we can save? And if you cannot save the tree, do you have a program to mitigate planting some other type of shrubs or anything? So first of all, is let's just keep as much vegetation as we can to hinder, you know, the intrusiveness of the project. And if that cannot be done and you have to cut it, then can we plant something that is within some type of guidelines that they have that will be low maintenance or no maintenance to them because it'll be us. That would be what I think you guys are really looking for, because asking to the project to stop or change route, that's not, it's unrealistic. So, yeah, so I think I am not opposed for us, you know, blessing your request for sure. So I think it's.
But I feel like you're the landowner,
No,
you're
this
the
is Carol.
bigwigs.
We need to hear what from them,
Well, and that's-
what they want.
So that's what I was saying. We will know, that's what I'm saying. We're doing the blessing of what they want after the meeting they have today. So the meeting that you're going to have today, you're going to say, look, we went the meeting and we want those 5 items. We'll review those 5 items and we'll say, you know, in addition to the residents, we as a board are in agreement with those 5 items. And God, if we want one more item that you didn't think about it, we'll add one more item. But I think you guys are extremely involved. I commend you, and I commend, I think I sent a really loud message the last time I was here, and after that with the amount of emails, you took this and and you ran with it. And I commend the residents that stay involved instead of just pointing fingers and saying, this is the action plan, that's where we're gonna do it. And this is how we work together. So I do commend you for that. I do commend you for coming back, and I thank you for it.
Okay, well,
So-
then after tonight,
Yeah.
more information to come.
If I knew it, I would attend. If I knew it, I don't know the time, but if I knew it, I would attend just to be ears. I wouldn't be just,
O'clock tonight.
yeah. I have a pass. If they didn't activate it, I still can get in.
You have to have identification to get into
Yeah,
the
right.
community now.
And I'm sorry for the sour grapes. I know- I
It's
have no
over. That's
history
why I
here.
didn't mention. It doesn't need it. I like it
but-
that we know what it is and that we're going forward with it.
And I think
Yes.
everyone's on the get along and help each other page here.
I just want to clarify one thing, Teresa, because the address that is on our website was provided by
I
FPL.
know. I know.
And so that is, to my understanding, what was, it may be an alias, I'm not sure, but that is the email address that we were provided.
It was at the meeting with Charlotte Miller, with Mr. Crenshaw as well, and I said, no one's getting answers from this, and she wrote it down. It's Next Energy.
Would you forward that to
I sure
Chelsea?
will.
Because then the only way that I would like for Chelsea to update is when we have a record saying, because God forbid we change it and then back like, that's not the one you should have used.
That
So-
was the email that Michelle King responded, very kindly, and a couple other people too have reached out, and
Okay.
she seems responsive, and I want to take that hope and run.
Right.
This gentleman is from another part of the state, and he just wants to get it done. But, you know, this is a special part. This community's been here for 40 years.
So I have Ed and then Doug. Doug has something to say.
Has your HOA been to the
Yeah.
television stations?
Yes, yes.
Why aren't they doing anything?
Well, Wink did have a story, May 21st it was on, and they may go again.
Would you just go to one station?
Wink, mm-hmm.
I will say this, I think they missed the target on the news. They had a huge opportunity. I think they went into the let's blame and let's why you're not proactive instead of here's the problem. I mean, I watched the news, I read it. So I think if you have the ability to do so, focus on what you're doing now, which is here's where we are instead of
What I would
Gateway
say-
Services is the owner. Gateway Service should know. Gateway Service is not telling us what to do. They're hiding information. Gateway Service is lying because that's what the news story was. Instead of here's what's coming to us. How can we defend it? How can we make sure environmentally friendly? How can we do that? So I think there was a miss there, but I figure you got it. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, I want to echo what Flavia said about being very appreciative of the community activism on behalf of Hampton Park. And we've seen where that community activism does carry a lot more weight than what you think. Pelican's a good example of that. There's been some activism in Stony Brook regarding 82 and some of the noise buffers. So we appreciate that. And we need that partnership because in most cases, we don't have as much. In some cases, we have maybe a little bit more ability to negotiate. And in some partnerships or in circumstances, we may not have as much ability. And this is kind of one of those cases, but staff has been engaged. They've been pushing on their end. So I would just encourage Hampton Park to continue to advocate on behalf of your concerns and also make sure that any information that you're receiving, that you're trickling that back to Chelsea and staff so we can keep records of it, so we can work in tune. And regarding coming out of here tonight's meeting, I think you need to have some clear talking points on what Hampton's Park position is and the position from the community. And those are things that you need to feed to your news outlets. So when they are reporting, they're reporting accurately on what is the impact to community, what the community is looking for, like more responsiveness or accountability for the environmental needs of the community, as opposed to just coming in and clear cutting without bringing the right people to the table. So I know with these news outlets, if you don't give them clear talking points and what your points of concerns are, they may take a little bit of creative direction with it, and the message may not be getting out, which I think is from the last, again, to what Flavia said, the last media report, it wasn't really vocalizing the concerns and the impact to the community by the lack of due diligence on FP&L to meet the community in the middle with making good decisions. So, but I applaud you for your work. Continue that, because the power of community activism along with our government body as a district is only stronger when we work together.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
If I can, I mean, I'll do anything not to cook dinner. I'll be there 8 o'clock. Oh, 6. All right.
We may be still here.
Oh, maybe, yeah, 6, but,
Have someone take minutes, so I'll
Okay.
put them on and
Thank you.
see where we go.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Local achievements and recognitions, anything?
The only thing this is Chelsea. The only thing I'd like to call out, and I don't know if I've mentioned this to you at the last meeting about the internal transition of staff. So Randy is now the Assistant Public Works Manager. He's keeping the Public Information Officer component of his previous role. The contracts management has moved over to Sherry, who is our accounts payable payroll manager. So that previous position, I guess, is somewhat vacant right now, but we've made those transitions. So you're going to see Randy more in the public works sector. We did some internal posting and did a couple of external applicants, interviewed, and Randy has since taken that role as of, I think, 2 weeks ago. So I just want to make that announcement. And then the contracts management, like I said, will transition to Sherry. And so we've made those succession planning transitions. That's all I have for local achievements and
All right,
recognitions.
so advisory committees, and we have,
I move to accept the advisory committee reports, agenda items 7A and B.
so I have a motion by Carol to accept the reports,
Second it.
and second by Bob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
I move on the agenda items 8A, B, and C, all approval of minutes.
I'll second.
So I have a motion by Carol to approve item 8A, B, and C, second by Ed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
I move on consent agenda items A, B, C, and D.
Do we have a motion by Carol to move to consent agenda items 9A, B, C, and D?
I'll second.
We have second by Bob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Tetra Tech report.
Get there. Stephen, you're up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Stephen Agapi, Tetra Tech District Engineer. Today we just have our task authorization update. The irrigation enforcement improvement project, no new updates from us on this one. We're still waiting to hear back from HMGP and CDBG. The Lake Bank Restoration Project, we did get requests for additional information back from HMGP and Lee County Development Order reviews. We're working on responses to those, and we'll have those out by the end of the month. Pelican Preserve Boulevard Mill and Overlay. That project is underway right now with Southern Striping. So far, they've mobilized to the site, and they have removed and replaced the valley gutters and some other miscellaneous curbing along the first portion of their project, which is from Tree Line to Bonito Drive. As you can see here, the schedule shows they're planning to start milling on the 27th of this month, so coming up. The Sherman Soccer Complex parking expansion. Our response to South Florida has been submitted, and that is under their review right now. The response to Lee County's DO RAI, that is still in the works. We had to make some minor landscaping adjustments to accommodate some stormwater changes. The Public Works Building Relocation Site Plan, everything has been sent to Lee County. We've already received the ERP from South Florida, and Lee County is right now reviewing our permit application. We did get a call from one of the reviewers, and a couple sheets were missing. We sent them those, and they said that was the only comment that they had. So we're pretty hopeful that that's going to get approved here pretty soon. The admin building, they're currently about 67% complete, and right now they're working on updating their construction schedule, I understand. Currently, they're still calling for August 5th, but Chelsea, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're working on updating that.
I do have a request from them today that I'd like to present to you. But now or later, it's up to you.
You know,
Essentially, they're requesting for 2 additional months. So that would push the substantial completion back to the end of October and the final completion back to the end of November. I am awaiting a formal written change order request from them. I explained to them that I cannot recommend that in front of to the board, but without some type of compensation back to the district for lost time. And understanding that the next board meeting is 1 day after what should be the substantial completion date. I am waiting for that formal request in my inbox any minute now, but this is a realistic expectation. They have a new director of operations, and I've spoken with the president of Florida's operations from OAK, but this is a realistic timeline because we cannot get close the development order because you have to close out all of the permits, the building permits and things like that. So I did explain to them liquidated damages were $500 a day.
nothing.
So in the bigger scheme of things, they would entertain LDs but still being able to charge their 10% administration fee. They too have some losses as part of this project, which that is not our problem. We signed a contract. But if you would like me to entertain that, I will entertain that. We can have a conversation about this. But either way, I can bring back their change order request. And if you'd like to invite them here in person to justify that, I'd be happy to make that request of them for your August 6th meeting.
Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, questions. What was the original contract's date of completion?
July 31st, I believe.
July 31st. Were there at any time, and there was a liquidated damage provision in the contract?
There is.
$500 a day.
Yes.
For 2 months, $30,000, nothing.
And going on, were there any change orders?
Yes.
Not done. Were there any change orders at which time they asked for additional time?
Yes.
Was it granted?
Yes.
So they've already had an extension for change orders that justified additional time to do the job.
Yes.
If those have all been completed, have there been any that have come in since, notwithstanding the one you're just talking about, that requested a time extension because we have gone now for 60 days that the job was going to be done? Not 60 days of giving a change order request for time extension. They're doing that now because they're you-know-what's in a ringer. My deal is I'm going to say no. I'm ready to go for liquidated damages right now.
So let me, if I can answer, Chelsea, if I can answer your question, I have 2 change orders sitting in my queue right now. I have not received a formal request as of the start of the 2 p.m. workshop, but I know one is forthcoming for the time, for the additional 2 months' time.
Too much time from when?
2 months.
2
months.
Two more months from August 6th?
To move it to, so to move from what is on the books right now, contractual obligation of August 5th substantial, September 5th final, to move those dates to
November.
October 31st substantial to November 31st final. So in essence, it's.
November's only got 30 days.
Okay, 2 months additional time.
Okay, what are the 2 change orders that we need to be done now? Yeah, of 2029.
As far as I'm concerned, that change order was not timely submitted, period. They should have submitted that change order at least
And I agree.
45 to 60 days ago.
If I'm being completely transparent with you, I did have a conversation with them a month ago. They did not formally submit additional time change order requests.
I don't necessarily care. Formally is all we go about. We don't do handshakes. right? We don't do handshakes. So formally, I mean, we're not going to tell them how to run their business. I will tell you this, while I wasn't here for 3 weeks, I don't see enough people on the ground. Okay. And when I do see it, I feel like every time I'm there is lunchtime. I don't run. So that's me. That's me there on the ground when I'm jogging, when I'm riding my bike. I literally go there and there is not enough people. I don't see them working on Saturdays. I don't see them working on Sundays. So I'll be opposed to giving them any time. Like the way they run the business is the way they run their business. And formal is always formal to me because I don't get to go to them and say, hey, let's go ahead and add another 500,000. We won't sign it, but we'll pay you at the end. Doesn't work for them. It's not going to work for me.
So this is Chelsea. To be clear, that is the sentiment that I have raised to them.
Yeah. Bob, anything different?
Totally agree.
Question, another one here that we should be doing. We need to talk to our engineer, our architect, inspector, personnel. Are you of the opinion that they deserve a time extension for what Flavia just described as what I have seen also? They're not working hard. They're dilly-dallying. I don't see grounds for it. Now, maybe our inspector's out there all the time, day in, day out, sees it. But why is this coming up at this late date, other than the fact that they feel the heat in the kitchen? They should have asked for this at least 45 days ago, if anything.
Ed, I know you're not directing that question to me as your district manager, but I cannot justify it. And I have been watching this transpire for time, and they are aware. They are aware.
I have been having conversations with Chelsea regards to this. So I will say this: I have been extremely proud of how proactive she is, and I think because she feels it from us, and because she doesn't want completion, and I think at least on a weekly basis, she does give an update. I'll call for an update. I'll text her for an update. And it got. Listen, without wearing the dirty laundry out here, it got to the point that I felt like Chelsea was having to say, hey, this is how you do business. And which I then warned her, like, I don't want you to do that because I don't want it to be like, that's why there's a delay. I mean, they're lost. That's my opinion. They're lost. And I think it's.
I could go along with the time extension, but it's going to cost them money. It's going to cost them money.
Tony, for the record, what I would suggest is wait until Chelsea gets the change order request. Let Chelsea, her staff, and Tetra Tech and myself review that change order request. Then make a recommendation to the board based upon the contract language and the nature and the rationale asserted for the change order request.
Our problem is we won't have a meeting, Tony.
Well, and I'm okay with that, Tony, except that they need to understand where we're going. In other words, there's going to be penalties if you're late, to give them an opportunity to apply extra resources to meet the deadline.
And to be 100% transparent, again, this is Chelsea. I have made that very clear to them.
Okay, then great.
110%.
And I'll stamp that.
Because there's still 3 weekends that they could work.
And that has been my sentiment. And again, I'm not trying to get into means and methods, and they understand that. Just, I want to be clear.
Okay.
They understand that they have fresh blood on the project. They understand that.
But they don't have the ability to just have fresh blood. They have to have the old blood, the dead blood, and fresh blood. Because when I'm there, I see a crew either inside of the building, but I don't see anybody else working on the sports court. So like, why are we not, if you don't even have.
That's your crews.
To me, you don't even have enough to do like one item, which is admin building. And then you're taking the admin building and splitting and doing them courts. And so I feel like Monday they do this, Tuesday the same crew does that. They just wear different hats. They just need more people on the ground, period. Period.
This is Carol. I have a question.
I'm frustrated.
Tony, to enforce that part of the contract, the $500 a day, does that mean litigation on our part
We
against
can
them?
make a demand or we can assert the position that we are seeking liquidated damages and articulate the reason why if they go past the date. Or when they make the change order request, because we did this with another vendor, saying as part of the change order request, we're also going to be asserting or reserving the right to assert liquidated damages. So
So not necessarily is the
no,
answer.
that could be part of,
threat,
it could
not
be
the
part, could be part of the discussions. If there's and we can try to resolve those ahead of time. When they make their applications for payments, if we've asserted liquidated damages. I'll go back and look at the contract and work with that in Chelsea. And
What I would request of the board today, this is Chelsea, what I would request of the board today, again, to Ed's point, that the next time that you guys meet is after substantial completion, is to ask your approval and authority, working with the district attorney
And the engineer.
and the engineers, to basically negotiate on our behalf with them to resolve this issue.
I make it as a motion.
Again,
I make that as a motion. That we give Chelsea that authority.
So we have a.
Can I make a statement? I've
They-
had my
they-
Yes,
hand raised for a little
Doug,
bit.
so go ahead, Doug, let's Doug do,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I don't know if this is feasible, but I just want to throw it out there as something point of consideration. Is there any additional scope that we could put in
After.
within that, either the 2-month time frame or something within that time frame that would be advantageous for us as an offset to the liquidated damages if we approve the change request? So Chelsea, is there anything, whether it's additional walking paths, or is there anything that would be of value to us to add additional scope to offset the time frame? I don't know if they got the manpower to do it, but it is something we should probably consider along with either just a yes or no.
I understand the request, and I will take that into consideration as part of the conversation.
I don't think necessarily, because you and I kind of talked about this when we were on the site last week, and really, there's literally nothing. We got
everything we want.
If you could just allow me to do what we
Well, no, I
discussed.
don't think that's true. Hold on 1 second. I don't think that's true, because even if we were talking about the dog park,
the
we were
dog park is
talking about, no, but listen, we were talking about some additional access, some sidewalks. So I'm trying to think, not only just dog park related, but there are walking paths, there are some additional sidewalks or other things like that we have as either part of the next phase. So, okay.
Again,
My point is, I want to kick it to staff. I don't want a solution during this call, but I want to kick it back to staff and Chelsea, say, can you make that a part of your due diligence before we reply?
And regardless, whatever discussed would come to you at the August 6th meeting with them in attendance here to present. We would present whatever we have discussed in front of the board, so you can make the
But by then,
final
we're already
decision.
too late, right? That's a de facto default by then.
but it appears, but you can't, if that's a fact, that's a fact at that point in time. But then again, the review, the submittal of overarching every contract is good faith. You have to have elements of good faith. And so part of what they would need to be acting in good faith when they submit the request, and we would need to in good faith review it based upon the contract requirements and the obligations in the contract. And so, again, the date, if the date comes and goes and they do not achieve it, and they timely and properly make a request for a change order, for an extension of time or for contract price, then it will be evaluated and acted on appropriately to Chelsea, myself, and the engineer, and come back with a recommendation to the board. And if the date's gone by, it's already gone
Cheryl
by.
again, a question to Chelsea. Are we as a district incurring any additional costs, meaning rent of the facility we're in right now? Any additional costs because of this request?
Yes, ma'am. And that is part of the conversation that I've already had with them, and they are open to discussing paying for the additional rent at our facility to extend the extra months. So all of these items that you're mentioning, again, I kindly request that you allow.
That's all in that motion that gives
Let's
you
do
the
this.
authority.
The tiger needs some teeth. This is Ed. I've done this before many times. You've got to show a position on this. My deal was, we have a motion right now to give you the authority to tell them that the board is on August 6th going to assert liquidated damages.
Correct.
And you have that. We take that vote right now, and they know we're not playing games anymore. We're giving you the authority to let them know that August the 6th, we're going to vote for liquidated damages.
If it's not done.
if it's not done.
But I think what Tony was saying is we have to wait until that day comes to be able to do
No,
that.
you
Yeah, but
don't.
we're just saying, if you miss it,
Done that before, you don't have to do that.
The message is clear that the district
Okay.
is going to reserve all rights it has under the contract,
All right, so
and
then,
including the right to assert liquidated damages if the contract provisions are not achieved.
what I just
all
said.
right, so that's,
Yes.
so we have a motion on the floor by Bob. And I'll go, do we have a second? Second by Ed. Let's go ahead and call, any more questions, any more discussions? No? Don't give it, Tony.
No, ma'am.
All right, let's go for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes
That
unanimously.
was Tony Pierce that said no, ma'am.
They have to understand and realize that this stall and using is not going to work anymore.
It is made abundantly clear to them. So,
Okay.
all right.
Next.
Sorry, Stephen, continue on with
No.
your update.
Very, very good. CCTV storm, crew still out there finishing up their first phase contract. I think they're approaching the end of that phase. Griffin Drive sidewalk, we're working on wrapping up our plans, scheduled to be sent over to Gateway tomorrow and also to Lee County for review. Tree line sidewalk.
Did we miss the 7/17 date, or are we right on target for it?
That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
we're
gonna
shooting
make
for
it?
that. I
Okay,
hope so, yeah.
thank you. This was Bob.
Of course, yeah. Tree line sidewalk, I got a chance to speak to Lee County DOT this week, and we got some information from them, which is going to help us move forward with our design efforts. We're marching forward on that one. Gravity rehab.
Steve and Bob, a question on that. Have we been able to, or are we trying to push that sidewalk further away from the road than what they did for C4?
You read my
Yeah.
mind?
For C5. Yeah, well, actually, it's funny you say that because when I spoke to the representative from Lee County DOT, they recommended that we copy and paste that same methodology, and I expressed that was not ideal for Gateway or the residents of Pelican Preserve. So we're working through it. They own the drainage over there on the right of way, and so we're just going to try to work with them and their drainage and move it away from the road as far as possible.
I hate to have a fatality 10 years from now. We could have done something.
Yeah, that's, I wouldn't want to walk my
Nope.
son on a sidewalk that close to the road, but, we're going to do the best we can to get as much space as we can.
Would it be, I'm throwing something out, would it be possible to put in any vehicle bollards?
No,
Not much.
10 feet, I believe DOT doesn't allow you to put any.
Yeah,
structures
bollards
below
wouldn't-
10 feet. Do not ask me how I know that, but I know
Run
that.
over the people. Running over the people is okay, but you can't put in something to protect them. Okay.
bollards
Ah.
don't go in the clear or the clear
Yeah.
zone, but guardrails go in the clear zone, but I
Ask me
don't
how I
know.
that.
A
I don't know
guardrail
if we
can
want to go
go?
that route.
Did
What's
you say
that?
Did you say a guardrail could go?
I mean, we haven't considered that yet. We're going to try not that option at first to reduce complications and expenses. So we'll keep an open mind for those.
I'm just focused on safety. It scares me.
Yep.
That'd be a last resort if you had to do it.
Okay.
Gravity rehab, we're wrapping it up right now. We were supposed to send that over yesterday, but we got a little delayed, so that'll be going out tomorrow to Gateway. The MPDES annual report, Eric is working on collecting data and updating the report. Pelican Preserve Pond 21, we're in preliminary design, looking to complete that by near the end of next month. New project supplemental engineers report. We submitted our draft report yesterday for staff and the finance team's review. I don't know, Chelsea, if you want to add anything on there. This is the first time I think the board's seen this project pop up, so.
What is it? I'm sorry.
It's the second amended supplemental engineers report for the
So-
bond.
That'll come to you, this is Chelsea, that will come to you at your next meeting for the draft for the capital projects that we discussed as part of this fiscal year's budget. So you'll see that report.
All right, GIS support services. We're still working closely with staff to just update all of the utilities, storm, water, sewer, irrigation, all of the other improvements that are going to be cataloged and available on their GIS system.
Did you hear the comments earlier about, well, I don't know if you were on listening to the transition to GIS to Tetra Tech? Are you
I
willing?
missed that.
Okay. My question to Chelsea is, if I can summarize it, is as of a date certain, October 1st, we no longer use Passarella, we don't use their services, and we don't pay them, and you guys got it all. Are you comfortable with that?
The question was to me. I don't want to speak for Alex, but I would assume the answer is yes. I think he would be happy to take on that responsibility.
Okay, that's all I want to know. I don't want to pay you and pay them.
We don't want you to either, Bob.
One snack food.
Development updates. No new changes here. Daniels Parkway Apartments is still they're moving along right out there along Daniels with their construction. No real updates on anything else. Grace Community Schools, I think, is coming to the board for approval shortly. I don't know if it's this meeting or the following meeting.
Here.
Perfect. And that's it for the development updates. No new news on Santa Luz as far as I know, unfortunately. And that's all I have tonight.
Anything else for Stephen and Gaffey?
Nope.
Tetra Tech.
All right,
All
thank
right,
you,
guys.
Steve.
Yep. Have a good night.
Thank you, Stephen.
Let's move to admin.
Next, we have the quarterly financial summary report presented to you by Mr. Stephen Bloom from Infomark.
Okay, good afternoon, Stephen Bloom from Infomark. So what you have in front of you is the third quarter financial overview up through June. So this puts you 75% of the way through your budget year. A couple things that I just wanted to kind of point out as some good numbers here. When you start looking at the revenue first, what I normally look at is your assessment collection rate, and you can see there you're, out of what, 99% through June, and there'll be a little bit more that'll come in, but obviously you're in good shape there. I normally will look at your utility billings to make sure that they are in line with what we budgeted. And overall, the enterprise fund, you can see there's about 81% of your budget. But then when you pull out the non-utility billing piece, you're still at about 75% of your budget. So right there, what you would expect to see. Again, that's covering obviously your debt, and it covers projects. So it's very important for those billings to be on target. And then kind of on the revenue side, I always look at your interest income. And so you can see it's in the kind of the midway on the right there, all of the funds. And again, this is across the board, including capital projects. You're about, over 700,000 in interest with, a quarter of the year left to go. And the bottom left also has a breakdown of that number if you want to take a look at it by fund. So you can see, general fund, Pelican Preserve. Again, we don't normally go look at the investment line by line in terms of where all of your money's in, but there is a page if you're interested in the financials that shows you everything: T-bills, money markets, all the funds across the board. I think it's like 2 pages now. We're constantly trying to take a look at the money and see if there's anything better, but we always want to show you where your investment is. And again, it's a good way to be able to show that we're using the money that we have and investing it properly. So that's what I kind of look at in terms of the revenue side. And then the next section there talks about expenses. And so from the general fund, and that's kind of an all-in number, I like to usually pull out and tell you what the numbers are without any of the transfer ins or outs and stuff. So it gives me more of an idea on how operations is doing. So from the general fund, when you take out the transfer outs for different things, you're only at about 51%. So doing very well in terms of the spending side. Now, again, the caveat is going to be the same as when we talk about in the earlier part of the year. You still have a quarter and you still have plenty of projects that are in the pipeline. And so obviously that spending number will go up. But that just lets you know, from a holistic perspective, the general fund is on target from the budget side. Same thing with Pelican Preserve. You can see 70% enterprise fund. Again, that one's also under 60%. So again, I look at that type of stuff and I want to make sure that from an operations perspective, that we're doing fine. And you can see we are, because a lot of times with all the capital and the projects and debt service, there's a lot of moving parts. So I try to break all that stuff out and kind of let you know how you're doing from an operating perspective. And so far, again, the numbers look very good for the year.
Anything for Stephen Bloom?
I have none.
Nothing.
No, all right, thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am, public offering versus the private offering.
All right, Chelsea Riley, District Manager. This next agenda item, which Rhonda Mossing is online. These 2026 bond series that we talked about, that supplemental trust indenture that Tetra Tech's working on for all those capital projects that you all agreed for us to proceed with. Rhonda Mossing, I will turn it over to you, and if you want to present the compare structure sheet. Ultimately, we've got two options for you, public versus private, and what we're recommending. But Rhonda, if you're on.
Good afternoon. Again, this is Rhonda Mossing with MBS Capital Markets, and we've been retained by the board to be your underwriters for this proposed financing. These will be bonds, 20-year maturity, to fund a $5.6 million project that you've outlined, and your engineer's working on the details for. But what we wanted to do was show you the difference between the benefits of a public offering versus a private placement with a bank. And the reason we're able to pursue a private placement with a bank is because of your 20-year maturity. Typically, the banks won't lend to agencies such as the CDD past 20 years. So if we needed money to go out 30 years, you would have to have a public offering. And the best way to get the best interest rate in a public offering is to get a rating agency to rate your bonds, an insurance company to insure the bonds, and provide part of the surety for a surety bond for the portion of the debt service reserve fund. Going with a private placement, there are many benefits. One is that you have lower costs of issuance because you don't have those rating agencies and bond insurers to consider. You typically get a comparable or sometimes a lower interest rate than you would in the public market. And that leads to a lower par amount of bonds issued for the debt and a lower annual debt service requirement. In addition, a private placement with a bank will not require a debt service reserve fund. And in order to get a rating on a public offering, you would absolutely have to have a debt service reserve fund. And typically that's partially cash funded and partially funded with a surety bond, but it's still money that goes into a reserve fund that is going to be invested at a little lower interest rate than what you're paying on the bonds. So that's not a good use of your funds if you can avoid it. So what we wanted to do was show you the projections in today's market and to let you know that our plan would be to pursue a bank placement. And if the board agrees with that, we are ready to send out what we consider to be a credit package to approximately 20 different banks that we've worked with in the state that are familiar with these types of financings, and get a response from them and potential term sheets back to you in time for your, looks like we're planning it for your August meeting to approve the term sheet. And then it would be part of the delegation resolution in September for the issuance of the bonds. So this is just a summary that I'm providing you. If the board has any questions on anything that's in this summary, I'm happy to answer those for you.
Yeah,
This is Ed. if we go with the private, with the bank, do we still have to have the engineers and Russ Wires studies? Both of them still have to have those studies?
Yes,
Well-
but
Okay.
they're needed for the supplemental trust indenture. You do a supplemental engineers report and a supplemental assessment methodology. Sorry, Rhonda, this is Tony.
Okay, this is Bob. I'm looking at the annual assessment projected and actual. It does not appear as though Pelican is in this. Am I
Correct.
wrong?
Correct.
So Pelican's gotten,
If you recall, this is Chelsea. If you recall, Laura ran the numbers through the assessment methodology and your guys' proportionate share of the dollar amount of the projects that we talked about. PPAC has discussed that and your 600,000 or
they might just pay.
you guys are just going to pay for.
That's
choosing
exactly
to
where I was
assess it.
going.
Yep. So
That way they're not tied into this bond at all.
This is not Pelican whatsoever.
I know they're thinking about future and if they break away, or however you want to call that, give the roads away and all. All right, thank you. That answered my question.
So,
This is Carol. Do we have a bond rating right now?
yes.
What is the district's bond rating?
Rhonda, I believe the last time we had the bond rating was AAA.
Well, it was AAA because of the insurance. And it's not a district rating. Each bond issue that the district issues is individually rated. And I did check with S&P to see if it made any difference in the
Not that much money.
interest rate to get the district rated as a whole. And they said, no, not really. They have to look at each
So the
individual
district
bond
as
issue and the
a whole
security.
Does not have a rating. It's bond issue by bond issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Has a rating, and the last one was AAA.
I believe, Rhonda, do you recall what the 2023 one was? I believe it was AAA.
The underlying rating was lower than that. I believe it was A-, but I'd have to check. But because of the bond insurance and the insurer has a AAA rating, that automatically bumped the district's rating on their bond issue up to AAA because of the insurance.
Okay,
So
thank you.
for this.
Also, I wanted to point out that the annual assessments that I'm showing you on this schedule are based upon the EAUs that you had back when the 2023 bonds were issued. And this is all preliminary because Russ then will put together his report and identify the benefits that each component of the project has on all the different land uses within the assessment area. And he may come up with a slightly different allocation, but I used the 2023 EAUs because I thought they would be close to give you an idea.
It's still going to be this Bob, a $60 to $80 hit to the individual
Every year.
gateway, yeah, for the next 20 years.
So what we're suggesting is the bank
Absolutely.
placement. And I just wanted your buy-in on that before we go and solicit to the 20 different banks or so. So if we could have a motion?
I move to
The
go with the
private.
private placement of the bonds.
I'll second that.
So
Of
we
the
have a,
2026 bond amount.
okay, so we have a motion by Carol to go with the private, second by Ed. Let's go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes
Aye.
unanimously.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Anything else for Rhonda?
Now,
Okay.
this Bob, we're committed
Yeah, thanks for putting this together.
to borrowing or getting a bond, but we haven't committed to spending any money yet. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. If we don't spend money, there's no cost.
This is Tony. Well, the cost comes at the time you issue the bond or the borrowing. That's when you have to pay all the fees and then you have.
So our money
cash.
right now is just to make that money available to us.
No, the idea is to solicit proposals
Correct.
for the placement
Correct?
and to understand what the costs are, and then the board can say yes or no, and then we will go forward and generate all the documents, do the closing, then it's when you get the proceeds.
But I guess his question is, this does not allow Chelsea or staff or us to just go ahead and spend the money.
Oh, the
No, the
money's
answer
not-
is
Oh, no,
no.
the money's not in the bank yet.
Okay, that's all I
That,
want.
that was your question, right?
Sorry, Mom.
Yes.
Because there's some things on there that stuff has to happen before. it
And
gets
I
spent.
agree.
And this is Chelsea, to be clear, we are spending money because we are engaging Rhonda,
Right, right,
Tony.
right,
So,
He means projects.
Just going through this exercise costs
yes.
us money.
He means
correct.
projects.
yes,
Well, for clarification, that comes out of the bond proceeds, the cost of issuance.
as long as they proceed with them.
Correct.
So if they
Otherwise, we
choose
don't
not
get-
to, we still have expenses. We have to pay some.
We get that.
No, bond counsel, myself, that's all contingent upon the bonds being issued. Correct, Rhonda? At least from our perspective.
Okay.
But
The deal
at
was-
least my fee and bond counsel are contingent, but I think your engineer will still have to be paid for his report. And
I-
any legal fees that
I'm
you
contingent
incur
also.
related to these bonds, Tony should charge you for.
This is Tony, mine's contingent.
We don't get
also.
many free things from Tony.
Yeah, mine's contingent, mine is contingent also like Rhonda's and bond counsel, yes.
All right. Thank you, Rhonda.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's
Good
go ahead
night.
and move to Grace Community Development Order, Development, consideration for approval.
I'll take this. I'll be brief. This is Chelsea, District Manager. We have Grace Community School that has come in and gone through the development review process through the permit criteria manual. It has been reviewed and vetted by staff, by the district engineer and district council, and we are recommending approval of this to the board. It is for a small preschool over right near our office,
Opposite Denny Grimes thing.
opposite Denny Grimes, at 11911 Fairway Lakes Drive. The map is attached.
Sign's been up for years, the school's
Yeah,
covered.
there's no layout or anything on that map. Where are they ingressing and egressing? Are they coming out directly onto Gateway? This is Ed.
No.
Onto Gateway Boulevard, or are
That
they coming
parcel-
onto Fairway Lakes Office Park?
Ed, this is Chelsea. That parcel does not touch Gateway Boulevard. It touches.
That's right, you're right. So they're coming out on
Fairway Lakes.
Fairway Lakes.
Yes.
And then the second thing is, there was something in there about a church in the, did somebody get,
Grace Community School is, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this by any means. This is Chelsea. It is funded through this church, through the church.
okay, so that's how that church reference got involved in there?
Correct.
Okay.
I move to approve. This is Carol. I move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Carol. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second by Ed. Let's go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 And can I ask a quick question to Tony before we proceed?
Wait, go ahead.
Yeah, so
Sure.
Tony, I think we've had this conversation before in the past, but when properties come in and they submit development orders or designs, what authority do we have as a community to regulate or to set certain parameters? Like within an HOA, they set design guides on what type of roof to use, what type of signage, certain things of that nature. Do we have any ability to create baselines or any type of,
The
whether it
PUD,
be
right?
Permit criteria manual, that's
The
it.
PUD has some
Yeah, this is Tony. The Lee County Land Development Code and whatever architectural or design standards are in there, the Gateway PUD, the Gateway DRI, and to the extent that there are valid covenants, otherwise we regulate it through the permit criteria manual
Okay,
as far
well-
as infrastructure.
Yeah, well, let me give you some specific examples. So, there's different roof styles that are being used. There's signage that goes up in front of buildings. There is, building conditions. As an example, like the 7-Eleven building is extremely outdated and probably could stand to be upgraded. And even on a small, I'm not trying to call Denny out, but his signage that he has in front of his building is, basically some 2x4s or polling and a banner. I wish we had the ability to set some criteria for signage and for even some, potential aesthetics when things start to get old and need to be updated, because it's just not in into the standard that our community would have in any other community environment.
All right, Doug, so before we go there, we do have a motion on the floor and we have a second, and I was calling it for a vote. So let's finish that, and then I guess Tony can answer the question. Would that be the proper thing to do, Tony?
It would be appropriate. Tony,
Okay. So
Okay,
let's go
that's fine. I
ahead and,
apologize.
okay, that's okay. So let's go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion passes unanimously. Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, Tony Pierce, the district doesn't have, well, let me back up. There are a number of deed restrictions and covenants, as you are well aware of, in the various communities in Gateway. There's no master association like there's typically for a lot of other communities that have all the other associations under it. So from the standpoint of regulating signage, copy, size, looks, appearances, it's the Lee County Land Development Code in the unincorporated area, the Lee County PUD in the unincorporated area, the Lee County Development Order. Pelican Reserve has the City of Fort Myers codes, building code, land development code, the SDA Special Development Area Approval document, and the Pelican Reserve DRI for the City of Fort Myers. And I think they might even have some design guidelines in Pelican Reserve incorporated into the Special Development Area Approval. I think that's my recollection. But typically, the community development districts do not have zoning or police power or land use power.
Just add, question on this. This used to be a POA. Did that POA have an ARC or a DRC?
I can't recall, Ed. It's been a long time since I looked at those documents. And again, that's this one that's dissolved. And I don't know if I can't recall if they had.
I was just wondering if there was something that we would or could rely back on to of
Having them do something.
for this particular piece of property.
Yeah, but that would not give the district the authority because it's the covenants are a contract among the property owners of the property subject to the covenants. And unless a third party is granted the power to enforce the covenants, no other party would have the right to do that.
So in addition to Doug's question, I guess, so even if we created some type of guideline, we don't have the authority to enforce it?
Architectural, there's a very, very, in the villages is one of the better examples, there's, in some other areas, very, very narrow area in 190 under certain constrained circumstances when districts may have the ability to adopt certain regulatory, I'll call it covenants. Let me go find that.
I do agree with Doug, like that we do have an opportunity for some maintenance, just regular operation maintenance. But I do say that I just, for some odd reason, just read the PUD for Gateway, and there are some specific items there. There's signage, there's fencing that does talk about that.
Some of that I would think we would be able to transfer over to the design, permit criteria manual.
Yeah, because I do recall reading it about it, specifically barbed wire
If I could chime in.
around the district property that we have, not allowed. I read that, sorry. Good memory.
Here's some of the, yeah, and again, the difficulty is the 190 is the charter for the district. And the law in Florida is when you're dealing with special districts, they have the powers granted to them and those that are necessarily implied as being necessary to carry out their functions. There's a very limited area where communities CDDs can enforce deed restrictions. And in my opinion, it doesn't qualify. Gateway does not. And again, one of the criteria abilities is to adopt rules necessary for the district to enforce certain deed restrictions. And it keeps going on, but it says, for the purpose of this subsection, the term deed restrictions means those covenants, conditions, restrictions, compliance mechanisms, and enforcement remedies contained in any applicable declaration of covenants and restrictions that govern the use and operation of real property, and for which covenants, conditions, and restrictions there is no homeowners association or property owners association having respective enforcement powers, unless with respect to a homeowners association, and they say homeowners, they don't say property owners association, which is important because Fairway Lakes is a property owners association, whose board is under member control, and so it's very limited mechanism. And then you have to go Again, the board may vote to adopt such rules only when all the following conditions exist. Some of them already exist. The declarant in any applicable, okay, for residential districts, less than 25% of the residential units are in a homeowners association.
Well, if this
So
said
it
again.
wouldn't apply, in other words.
If this say a POA and the people, the 13, 14 property owners
Then
in
that's a
there,
yes.
they didn't want to get involved and they get what they get.
Yeah, look, if the district,
Let's move on.
let me back up. If the district owned property, the district could impose covenants on the property that it owns. And if it sells it, that buyer would have those covenants in place. For example, one of my other districts had some land that they sold as vacant land they got in a tax deed sale. They sold it, but before they sold it, they imposed deed restrictions on the property. So they knew what was going to go in there and they have
They
design
had to
review.
restrict it somewhat.
But they
Okay.
owned the property, so they had the legal right to do that.
If I could just, I think the underlying issue,
Please.
this is Chelsea. If there are concerns with regards to property maintenance, I believe Lee County has a
Code
property
enforcement.
maintenance code that you can contact code enforcement. But
Lots of
with
line.
regards to the district enforcing or pushing standards on, that has to be reevaluated. We can look into that further at a future date, but right now, our teeth is the permit criteria manual, and that may
That's it.
be just gums.
And unless the legislature changes the rules, but again, Chelsea's right. For example, if the signs are falling down or non-compliant, you can notify code
Code
enforcement.
enforcement.
Do they have a timeline when they're going to start?
I'm assuming very quickly.
Quickly.
Sign's been there for years.
Yeah,
Who's
they,
the construction company? Is that, I hope he heard the message. Is it the same construction company that we're having over there, right?
Yes.
Oh.
If I may,
I couldn't figure out where you were going. Now I got it.
Mrs. Tony, if I may ask Chelsea.
I know, that's how our staff is over there, probably on the field.
All of our workers will be
Drumming up
over
new
there.
business.
Mrs. Tony, if I may ask.
We should have waited a little longer.
If I may ask Chelsea a question. Chelsea, I think at one point in time, was there an issue about the Lee County DO because of the roadway condition in the association?
yeah, and the developer is still working through that. Developer and contractor is still working through the DO portion of the project, but they were looking for approval from us to continue on with their applications. And they were, I do know that the head guy at the church, he was making his rounds trying to, basically, they're contemplating reestablishing that POA and taking that initiative amongst themselves because of the ownership issues. So, and then the potential of the funding for the roundabout sitting in a
They still
pot.
have that huge pipe right there underneath, right, that sewer pipe underneath that lot.
I don't know.
They do.
And
remember
the
that.
incentive for that, as we talked before, is that nice six-figure sum sitting in the court registry from
So-
the eminent domain action.
Anywho, that's,
All right, let's move on to
Please.
KO Pilon bond waiver request.
this is Chelsea, district manager. I thought the
Alright.
developer would
Click on
be,
it, click on it.
I know, I'm trying to get there. Listen, Laura's not here, so I can't tell her to click on it. This Chelsea's clicking
You
on
can
it.
tell her, but she won't do anything.
I know.
Yeah,
Come on,
This is
Laura.
a repeat of what we just did a couple of weeks ago or a month ago.
Well, I
That's
wanted,
okay,
I
she
would,
is a haha.
yeah,
Oh,
thanks.
hi,
Laura's
she
on.
is here. Very
So-
quietly, I hear.
So KO Pilon is the corner lot up here across from 7-Eleven, the vacant lot. The district, the board many years ago approved this project. I don't know what happened. I don't know what transpired, but typically we would, as part of the approval process, require the developer to have a bond on file. As part of me evaluating the work that was going on, I quickly realized that the district does not have a bond on file as part of that approval process. Well, when I started these conversations with the engineer, which is Bowman, and the developer, which is, they're out of the East Coast, they, similar to North Haven, yes, like a couple weeks ago, requested a waiver of this bond requirement until they actually start construction. So the request that you see in front of you is from the owner of the property requesting the same agreement that we did for North Haven, a delay for the bond requirement, and we could enter into this agreement with them, similar to what we did with North Haven, until they are ready to start construction. So
We have no risk.
What?
We have no risk by waiting until they're ready to construct. I'm okay with
So
that.
if you're, I just want to caveat, this is Chelsea,
Caveat, transparency, what are the words for today?
caveat that if you so choose to entertain this, we are going to have incurred costs from legal counsel to draft the agreement, and that the developer bear the cost of
Any
drafting
fees.
that agreement to come back in front of you at a future time and date certain as we.
In other words, pick up the tab later. Okay.
No, not later, now.
Now,
For
My
that 30
only
now.
concern,
Do what?
my
For
only
that
concern
30?
here is when we delay a bond for any type of construction, in the future, if we do that, then there has to be no activity on that property. In my opinion, because once you even start clearing ground or doing any type of, then there's a risk of something happening, even if,
absolutely,
whatever.
Doug.
So I think in the future, if we're going to set a precedent, I think if we approve this today, I think moving forward, we have to agree that we will not allow for any
Activity.
Any further construction?
Yes, so we will delay a bond only in the event that there is zero activity on the property.
Yep.
But the minute you start bringing machinery on the grounds and doing any type of stuff, that bond, there should be a bond in place.
You can put that as part of the agreement. We can incorporate that as part
I
of the
think we should, then
agreement.
I'm totally in favor.
I agree.
So if any additional activity, because they got machinery still sitting out there. So if any additional activity takes place, that bond needs to be in effect.
Madam Chair, this is Tony. Chelsea, I can't recall, did they request a timeline? Because the request does not indicate, I'll call it a drop dead date by which they need to obtain the bond or commence construction. But I think North Haven did. We ended up pushing it back.
We do need to include that does not exempt them from property maintenance.
Right.
They gotta maintain.
Can't let the weeds
property.
grow in the meantime.
So Tony, we can, as part of working through the agreement, we can put that, we can work with the developer on that request. I will, just like we did with North Haven, suggest that we put a time and date certain, otherwise they have to come back and make an additional request for time.
Give them 12 months or
extension.
whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I asked that, because the request didn't do that.
Reasonable also.
You modify your motion to do that?
Yes.
I second.
So we have a motion by Bob, second by Ed. Let's go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
And Tony, for the record, Chelsea and I may come up with some additional conditions.
Add
That's
on.
okay.
Add on, we're
Bring it
good.
back.
We have
And
our
there's a couple
blessing.
that we've sort of been stewing on other projects that can
You already got
be
yes.
appropriate here.
You
Thank
already
you.
got yes.
Thank you.
Ask forgiveness later, right, Bob?
All right, so fee schedule and discussion, setting the date for public hearing. Okay. So I have one thing
It's
to
already
say.
set, didn't it?
Wait,
And we're
wait.
ready to go.
Wait, I
Well,
have,
you need a motion.
I need a motion and I had a thought in between all of this. So, all right. So we were asking staff to go and look at, because the events are listed on the fee schedule. Remember how we asked staff to go out there and tell us the events, so we knew that the farmer's market would be a different fee? Well, the farmer's market is here. So we have to address that.
This, district manager, the special event fees here, and again, by setting the public hearing, you have an additional stab at making comments and edits and so on and so forth. This is more for admission, not for parking. Parking is a whole different thing.
Oh, it's another, but it gives us that. So I would like to go to the public hearing with getting like a cleaner version so we can present it. So what I was suggesting is any special event hosted by the district, which would be the fishing derby, the movies, the Winterfest, the Red Bull, the Touch a Truck, all of that, it will be a $5 a day fee. It will be a $5 for the event duration. Because we do want them to come, the non-residents.
For parking?
Yeah, for parking. For residents, all of those events will be free. right, for residents. For the non-residents, I still want them to come and
Daily fee instead of an hourly
just
fee.
for those events that you have it listed. So instead of having to recreate, so under parking, you have it, keep it exactly how it is. Parking for residents are on the facilities. For non-events hosted by the district will be that.
Okay.
And I, to be honest, if there was not a need to list all the the events, because we may come up with one, I would just say event is hosted by the district.
Okay.
Non-resident will pay a $5 daily fee because the events for the district will be 4 or 5 hours. And we do want them to come, and then I don't know, that's just a thought.
Well, there's also, to add on to that, Chelsea, if we ever have any tournaments at any of the field locations, a daily pass would be applicable as opposed to an hourly rate as well.
And
So-
I agree,
so
and that's beyond,
incorporate that into the wording. So it's events either hosted or, partnered or co-sponsored or whatever.
oh, really?
For special events, they have a platform.
Yeah, I just thought like, we want get money, but we cannot get money if we don't have anybody coming in and visiting us. So let's meet halfway there. And again, this can be changed in 6 months and a year from now or whatever. But I thought a $5 fee, it's, you go to the Greek festival in Naples, it's $10, $5. So that's kind of.
$5 isn't what it used to be.
So we listed the events so you could see everything that we have. The big one, the Youth Fishing Derby is, we've been charging that fee, but, and then generally everything else has been free, all of our other events. And this is kind of the same concept, but if you wanted us to entertain admission fees, that is kind of the thought process.
Haven't heard anybody
I
mention
have,
only
I
parking.
haven't, yeah, no, only parking. So I have another, it kind of like in line what Doug said it. So we're waiving the fees for everything else except the fishing derby, which we know 95% is kids only. So I would be not even opposed to, and we have also probably hardly any cost, it's just staff. The other ones, we actually have costs. We have, the Red Island Pool, we have prices and things like that. And that we're giving it for free for non-resident. For the resident fishing derby, we charge the kids $10. So I would also, if anything, looking at this now, remove the youth fishing derby fee, make it a free. Does that make sense, Elsie? Do you agree?
Yeah.
That it's the
we
one
talk-
that,
We did talk about that internally because either we have nominal costs or we get sponsors for these
Yeah.
and donations. So, but again, we wanted to be transparent.
yeah,
with
that's
this.
fine. I mean,
So-
what do you guys think? Like the
And
biggest
this
cost
is
for us is
Carol,
the,
what would you do about the doggy dash?
I don't even know what that is.
It would be
I
that,
don't either, but it's got a $10 fee and a $25 fee attached to it on the thing.
That's for
So you're
non-resident.
suggesting that would be
Hold on.
free also?
Hold on.
this would be a,
No, it doesn't. The non-resident, so non-resident has a cost.
What is the doggy dash?
it's a net new program, net new event that we're talking about where it's like a sprint of
Carol?
the dog.
So for the resident, it's all free. It's just the non-resident pays.
Doggy Dashes has a $10 fee for the
Right,
residents.
but you've got free on everything else.
I don't see it.
Why would you,
But that's non-member.
I'm saying if you want to be consistent, all the
No, I
rest of
agree.
those
I agree
fees
what
are
you're saying.
free.
I agree what you're saying.
Why wouldn't you take off those fees also?
So you want to do,
I was talking about the resident version of it.
You want to leave?
Oh, okay,
Oh,
it's
under
current
youth-
rate, because, okay, never mind.
So under
Because it's
youth
current
fishing-
rate and member rate. Yes, I would say remove that doggy fee too.
so free for members.
Mhm.
And non-residents have to pay? Right now, everything's free.
What is what is that first? Let's start with that.
It'll be a new program. It's like an agility doggy dash. They race a certain amount of meters and trying with new,
I'm laughing without trying not to laugh.
Something?
we're trying to hit
All our
all of
dogs
our,
are retired. They'll just like to chew in the grass and do nothing.
Only dachshunds are allowed.
Yes.
okay, well, either way, we'll remove the list of all the special events. We'll caveat it and just put district partnered, co-partnered, hosted,
Special events.
special events, and that will offer a daily parking pass
I'll agree.
$5.
for $5.
Yeah, and I think, thank you for bringing that up, Carol. I'll say to remove the $10.
Okay.
I know, partner with Lee County, have them bring some of the agility stuff for free from the Lee County mosquito control, because they rent that. Then we have no cost.
And just for example, the flat rate for those special events is for a 6-hour period. So I don't know if you want to do that all day or 6 hours.
Hours, because I don't think we have anything that's more than 6 hours.
I think it's per the duration of the event.
Okay, for the duration of it.
Good point.
Or otherwise
Set up.
specified.
Yep. Okay.
So right now, this is tentatively set for the August 6th meeting.
As long as you approve
Okay, so
that.
do you want to make a motion?
I'll move.
All right, so we'll make a motion with the changes that we made. So, right, Carol, is that what you want
Yes.
to? Okay, so Carol's making a motion with the changes to add the $5 per the entirety of the event for the special events hosted by the district. We'll go ahead and remove the $10 fee from the youth fishing derby plus the doggy dash.
For purposes of setting the public hearing.
The public is said in the public hearing.
Yes.
Second by?
I'll second it.
Second by Ed, all in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Yes, we will set that public hearing.
Or what did?
I think we were going to set it to the 6th.
6th.
The 6th.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on. Budget. Any additional budget discussions?
I think we had it all at the
We hit it all a
workshop.
while ago.
This is Carol, and you took notes, and there's some things you're going to get back to Bob on, so.
All right, moving on.
All right, next.
All right.
Manager reports.
Admin, monthly report. Anything for Laura, who is online, driving back?
I have nothing. No, all right.
Anything for
Nobody
public
report? wanna
Public
go
Works,
home, right?
monthly report?
I don't have anything on the report. I just have one feedback, but I'll wait, see if anybody else has anything. Hi. I did mention to Randy, it was my first email to Randy on his new role. I noticed the aerators are not, the heads are not working on 83. And then a tricky question to get another answer that I really wanted it, which was, when was the last, because I came back from vacation, I noticed my pond was really calm.
To Randy or to Matt?
I sent it to Randy because I thought it was Randy's job, and then Randy sent it to Matt.
Okay.
Okay. So I noticed the pond was calm, and I noticed the first day I was back, right? So then my question is, because I was out for 6 weeks, how long was it out? Right? So then he answered, they did the inspection. It's just the system had switched. So we really don't know, which is fine. But I just want to make sure that we utilize in the schedule. I don't recall the contract that we have now, but I do recall seeing the contract we had 5 years ago, 3 years ago, that they are going out there. And that is one of the items on that checklist because we created the checklist to give it to the vendor to check. So I want to make sure that's in there. In addition, I have seen an increase slightly, not enough to promote necessarily action, but I know it's this time of year, I have started seeing algae, filamentous algae, so I've seen it.
We've seen it.
So again, I don't know, but I just noticed on some of the ponds, I actually noticed in some of the ponds that we didn't have issues before. So this is the first time I acknowledge that we're seeing it since 2019, which is 7 years. So I just want to make sure, like, if there's something, treatment wise, but I know it has to do with the heat, has to do with a bunch of other stuff, but those are my only two things. Yes, Paul?
Yes, good afternoon. For the record, Paul Flores, Public Works Director. Regarding Lake 83, we did replace that compressor in mid-June, June 15th, I believe. So since then, I believe somehow the breaker tripped, and that's why it was off. Matt had responded to your request, but unfortunately, he's so new, he forgot to click a setting to give you the reply directly.
No, he did.
Okay.
He did.
Yeah,
And that's what
okay.
I was saying. Like, I got it, but there's not a flavia in every pond. And I got back and it was the same day I got back. I was like, the pond is too calm. And then I went over there and I said, I don't think the aerators are on. So I shut my fountain off because then I could really see it. And I was like, there's no way I see heads working. So that's all. And I mean, I think long time ago when Kenny was doing this on his other role, we used to have a map. Do you remember the map here with the lift station and the lights? So Kenny used to look at, with L, at the usage on the FPL and like, so I don't know why, but they will say, okay, we have barely any usage here. The bill is too low. That's how they knew something was out. It was very reactive, not proactive, but.
Well, here's, I mean, the question is, the only way we know when an aerator goes out, because there's no internal mechanism to alert, I would imagine, is through our maintenance checks or if someone happens to catch it. Is that accurate? And if
Yes.
so, what is our maintenance schedule? How often are the aerators checked?
Monthly.
They're checked
They're-
monthly?
Quarterly, and then Matt is inspecting every pond monthly. We do also have Met Tower, but Met Tower is not looking for that. That's not a part of their scope of work. So it's either Matt, resident, or a contractor, a
Hey, Doug,
superior. That's
this is
Quarterly
Bob.
though, quarterly is
I
really
will
too
tell
long.
you
Quarterly is too long, I'll
that
tell you
if we
that.
put them in, the residents will tell you that.
Yeah, the owners will
The
tell you.
experience in Pelican is when that bubbler stops, you hear about it.
right. And
Period.
we do get
You don't
notified
need
from
to know
Pelican.
more than that.
Right.
Well, Pelican is a little bit more observant. when it comes
Oh,
to
everybody,
pond.
Doug, they look at it.
I will say this though. Poorly for an aerator because of the water quality, once it goes downhill, you're looking at 6 months to a year to fix that water. So I think I'm willing to do quarterly for other things.
But aerators have to be monthly.
Aerator,
Yeah.
I will be, because once the water quality goes south and if it's the right conditions, it will take, from experience, right, Ed? It will,
Especially this time of year.
at this time of year, so maybe it can be quarterly than the winter, but during this time with the heat and.
Hold on, there's a
But
difference.
We're inspecting the ponds monthly.
That's what my
So-
understanding
right,
was.
so
monthly.
I
mean-
think Matt will be our first line of defense as he inspects every month. He will see that. So without changing contracts or,
Contract for the aerator vendor is quarterly, that they
And that's
do
appropriate.
quarterly maintenance. Staff has a requirement to go out monthly and inspect these ponds,
Right.
every pond monthly, which includes aeration. So we 100% should be catching it. Now, you may catch it sooner.
Oh, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
So,
I
wait,
was just thinking if it's.
But to
30
Flavia's point, to your point, that means that aerator, the timeframe that it was down would not have exceeded 30 days.
Correct.
that is correct.
Okay, all right.
To be
just wanna make sure I'm clear on
reported.
that.
I don't know if the repair will be that quick,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
to be
but
reported.
to
What
be
the
no,
fix
yes,
is.
Right.
yeah,
Worst case
to be
scenario would
identified.
be no more than 30 days, but I think.
You're going to hear about it a lot sooner than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We do
Trust
get a
me.
lot of resident participation. If they see nothing out there, they'll call us.
Yeah.
They'll call us, so, and we'll investigate and we'll address it.
And I
Now,
assume
some
that,
of the issues are FPNL related that do take some time to try to resolve, so just
Just
want to
add
throw
3
that
months.
caveat out
and I also
there.
assume that at every area, we're going to have a bobbin or something floating on the surface.
We
to help
don't.
identify where it is, but more importantly, it tells the resident that water should be bubbling.
Okay, so I'll tell you, there is 98%, none of the ones in Gateway have a bubbler.
Well, you need that, otherwise you don't know
So
where it's
that's,
supposed to be.
so that's what I'm saying, like, for me, my eyes, I can see it, but I cannot expect any of my 116 residents to
Yeah.
look at it. So if that's
Change our
something,
methodology.
so you need to,
make sure
my
that you got
pond is extremely small and I have 7 heads.
Yeah. Otherwise you can't
So I
find
may
it.
have 3 heads working, but not all. So I do agree
Yeah.
with that. If you're using that as
We
a
use the
marker,
bobbin.
then we should look it into that.
We can look into a bobber.
Because
Yeah,
they'll
they're easy.
help
Yeah.
staff, because
It
sometimes
helps us
they
find
move,
it.
they move a little bit. with
Otherwise
the
you won't know
wind.
where it is. If
Yeah.
a
The
gator
wind
grabs
moves a
it,
little bit and they do move.
gators do grab them.
I'm just thinking
That's Bob.
Chelsea's admonition
Oh, the
about.
AI.
I said, this is Bob.
Bob, you just said all of that stuff, even if it's a female voice.
I'm never going to learn
AI
that.
is going to know it.
I can't even use my phone.
All right,
That was
thank you.
Bob.
We will follow up on that.
And this is Doug.
Anything else?
Yeah, I do have one thing. This is Doug. I know over the years, we have transitioned away from fountains for various reasons. I think the one that I remember the most is just maintenance. Seem like the fountains, they go down. I would like to maybe look at the possibility of what, fountain feasibility is today. Not in every pond, but I think with the new Commons Park area, if we were going to put a fountain in, and it would, from my perspective, it would be aesthetic only. I mean, there's other benefits, I would imagine, but I would almost like to entertain a fountain at the Commons Park area to again add some, visual aesthetics to that property. Just the feasibility of it, and if you guys disagree and said, look, it's completely not, a waste of money or the
Okay.
value's not there, that's fine. But
All right, so I would not, Flavia, and I wouldn't be opposed to that. I will tell you this, the amount of filamentous algae that's there all year round in the muck, the only location that you will be able to actually install a fountain that wouldn't be get clogged monthly, it would be near what the dog park area will be installed. But nothing closest to Daniel's, nothing close to where we hosted fishing, the derby, none of that, you're not gonna be able to do it. It has to be
because
all
the
the way.
sediment,
Yep,
sediment
because
at the
the
bottom.
sediment, you're gonna get, first, I don't think it's deep enough. And it's gonna actually, it doesn't do anything aerated, very little, but it's gonna turn some of the water, and the amount of algae when we get, it's going to get clogged very often. And a small fountain, it's $15,000 to $18,000. That's the one,
Okay.
that's the price that we just paid for the one in Magnolia, so.
Chelsea, district manager. If you recall, we were going to pilot the aerator at that pond, the aeration at that pond, doing as part of the whole discussion for capital for next year in the bond series. That's where we were gonna pick one of the locations because of where it ties into the flowways.
I defer the
The fountain.
the fountain. It's just aesthetics. That's all
It is, but we
Oh,
do
that's,
have.
and I understand that.
Yeah,
That's really the only
but it
reason.
would be pretty. We do have a fountain that is not in use, that it just needs repair, a district-owned fountain.
Is it installed or is it pulled
It
out?
is in the pond. It is behind the Gateway Charter School, if you
Yeah, yeah.
remember.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that
Okay.
was a very large fountain, and that
Yeah, it was
fountain,
big.
so
It's pretty
it's
when it worked.
very pretty. So it was a minimal cost that needed it to be done. It was Chris Shoemaker time, and there was somebody didn't make friends and nice, and he refused to fix it. So if there is a possibility for us to pulling that fountain out, because it's all floated, it's not really
That's a
weighing.
big fountain.
It is a huge fountain, like an entrance of a city fountain. You remember, right?
I remember it.
Yeah, yeah.
See,
It was
they
really
can
pretty
play
when it
around.
worked. But you said that's a floated one?
All fountains are floating. No fountains are attached to the
Oh,
ground.
you're
They
just
have-
saying, you're saying
So
even
the
when
house- so
floating,
the
the amount of
head-
algae would,
Yeah, because
okay.
the motor, everything is on top. It's like literally what you see, the head of the fountain, everything is in there. The only thing that goes all the way down is just a string weight to weigh it in location.
Say the
Okay.
anchor.
The anchor, but yeah, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't cost much to have our vendor to go out there, pull it and see, then if it's just a motor for 2 or 3 grand, we have
Could
FPL.
we
They'd have-
relocate it?
Do it. Yeah, that's
Could
what
we
I'm saying.
relocate
Like,
it?
we could.
The only,
Let's
just
let us
relocate it.
look-
just that, the only issue I see on it is might want to check, because I think that pond depth over there is substantially deeper than where you're proposing to put it.
Yeah, just cut the thing,
Well-
cut the anchor, pull the head out. plug
Might
it
look
in
at it, but if it's sitting around and it's an opportunity, take a look at it.
there.
Yeah,
It's sitting
okay.
around, it's probably not gonna be worth a pound
Fish
to
it
go
out.
what the hell.
We'll-
It's
we'll-
all gummed up.
We'll try to find it.
We
Okay.
pulled ours out.
Thank
It was total rebuild.
Anything else for Public Works?
No.
All right, anything for utilities?
I want to see a picture.
Is
of
Public Works
all of
stormwater
it,
ponds
both.
environmental, is that in?
Pardon?
Under Public Works, is that still stormwater ponds?
Yes,
Yes.
Oh, I do have a question.
yes.
Page 178. Community-wide ponds. Community-wide pond inspections. Is that truly community-wide or is that Gateway?
This is Paul again. Yes, it is. Well, Matt does go into Pelican and does some spot checking, but not every pond.
The
But
ponds
yes,
work group, that's all. I
yes,
just want
yes,
for
he is
clarification.
in Pelican. He does, on occasion, will inspect ponds.
Because this talks about the Met Tower environment. We don't deal with them. So I just like to differentiate, that's all.
Right, and Matt does get calls from Pelican residents, and he does go out and investigate.
Well, I hope when he gets those calls, he sends them to ponds.
Yes, he's very,
Okay.
he keeps Jim Latham very informed as far as
Okay.
anything he gets his way. That's
Okay.
correct. I mean, there's a lot of communication on both sides.
And the thing I'm trying to make sure we don't fall into is that a resident hears something from our staff here that is in variance with the way Ponds runs it. I can't imagine that there's going to be
Now,
an issue, but early on there was, when Elle was here.
I can assure you, today, we don't
Okay.
have a communication issue with the pond.
All right, we'll just clean up the language on that, so,
Okay, very good.
thank you, that's all I
Thank
had.
you.
Anything else for Public Works?
What?
Public Works?
No.
Anything for utilities?
What's
I
the
just have
update on how many meters have yet to be, the boxes to be replaced and the brass to be replaced versus how many meters do we have to have meter replacement?
Austin Manoli, Assistant Utilities Manager. So as far as boxes, I want to say it's on the order of about, 200 at this point, I believe.
Yet to still be installed?
Yeah. Counting all the irrigation common area, like on the right of ways and commercial. Not sure off the top of my head what the proportion of that is still residential boxes that was skipped, just due to and positioning issues. As far as meters, basically all that still has to be done is just meters that go inside those boxes that I've been.
Are the meters that's been skipped, are they skipped because of a change order issue?
No, it's because the boxes haven't been replaced yet.
Say it again?
The boxes that they're installed and haven't been replaced yet.
We're not putting, this is Chelsea, we are not putting new meters in old boxes. So the boxes have to stay ahead. The meters will fall behind.
Okay, and then the other question is, what about boxes that are complete, everything has been done, but the meter hasn't been changed? What's the story on those? I know in my street, my cul-de-sac, they put in new meters in every house, but not mine. I still got the old meter.
I'm sorry.
They haven't caught the bypass, and I want to know when they're going to be there.
Yeah, they did my neighbors, but they didn't do mine.
That's good.
That's what
Great job.
mine was. They did my neighbors, but they didn't do mine. I was wondering, what's the reason?
Ka-ching.
I don't know why, but I can tell you they did get replaced yesterday.
I was gonna say, mine was a week off, so
Say it
they,
again? You got what?
They were replaced yesterday. I don't know why they were skipped during the
There,
initial.
I can tell you. So
They didn't want you running out to scare them.
you scared them all. No, I'm just kidding. This is Chelsea. So we were in the midst of billing, and we had a blackout time period. And so the meters, we said certain addresses effective this date
okay.
do not put in the new meters until we can get the billing done. Billing just went out, and so now they're going back and hitting all of those ones that were done during this blackout period. That's why yours.
I liked what I thought rather than your
I
explanation.
know, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
So I did, and I will say this, so they did mine yesterday as well. He actually knocked on the door and told us he was doing, the vendor. He knocked on the door and, I sent him over and he was like, oh, they're changing our meter. Because we assume it was all changed, a week or so ago when they were there. But, yeah, so he knocked and he explained the project in 5 minutes and then.
So
Very
basically,
nice.
The meter-
Everything went well.
We're caught
I
up.
just stayed in the couch. I told him I'm not home.
Yeah,
That's
the
literally
meter-
what I said.
meter
I'm
people
not
that are
home.
doing the work are doing a very good job.
so meters have caught up with boxes. Boxes we're at the point where we're doing the difficult addresses, the deep roots and grain, potentially change order ones where we just have to, where the box is literally in a tree. Today technically would have been substantial completion for the boxes. We're issuing a change order for time to give Met Tower additional time to do the roughly 200 boxes that remain, most of those being commercial. Part of that change order is accommodating commercial times, things like that.
And residential.
And then those residential deep rooted issues. So, but we're at like 99% of the meters are in. The goal is to get 100% of the new meters in by the next time the bill goes, which is on September 9th, 9/9.
Anybody we can ding for non-compliance to the contract? $500 a day for that.
increase that?
Just asking.
But honestly, with this one, the change order is truthfully, I could justify the time for additional change on this
Because we
one.
needed it.
Yeah, because of the roots, because of the rain. I mean,
Well, if our admin building people are listening, I'd like them to know why.
Some of those routes are really, really bad. And in fact, the meter pit shouldn't even be located there.
yeah, and that's part of the additional time and
Okay.
so. Anything else for utilities?
Yeah, I just have one thing. So if, I think if anyone's been paying attention to social media lately, one of the hot topics has been water bills. A lot of posts around water bills being upwards of 20, 30-ish% higher than normal. A lot of that is being, I see the easy go-to is the district is just charging us more and, so has anyone else heard from their constituents, their residents around complaints around water bills being
Every time I go to the
30%
driving
higher?
range,
Yeah, I saw the
Okay.
post and I think, it's nice to see some very educated residents, meaning like know what it is. It's like, look at your gallons, because if your gallons is outside of the range, that mean you have a leak, and I hate to say it, but sometimes the leak, just like Pelican, may be under the base of their home and you won't really notice.
Won't
Yes,
know it,
yeah.
your toilets are not leaking, your hose is closed, but there is a leak. So I think it was nice to see some resident guiding the people that had concerns, like look at your usage and also notice that it is for a 2-month period, so the increase on dollars, yes, we had them because we did have an increase on utilities, but the majority was really usage. But I saw what you
Well,
saw.
And this is Chelsea. The beauty of these new meters and especially having access to ion water, they've been in for, we're on week 7 of these meters being installed. So anybody who actually has had their meter installed for 7 weeks or even a week, they can go on to ion water, especially if they have a leaky toilet, and they'll see the continuous usage.
Yep.
Um,
So
and
it might be a good idea for Randy or whoever's managing PR now, maybe put a post out there on here's if your water bill seems higher, here's why. There's definitely some increases from from the county, as well as here's some things to do if you feel like your water bill is higher than expected. Like I think he's done those posts before. It's just might be a good time to refresh that. But again, call out increases and where those increases are generated from. And also, if it's really high, then you probably have a leak that you may not even be aware of. And here's how to address that.
And if they have questions, to contact us directly. That's
Exactly,
that is the biggest takeaway. So.
Thank you, Austin.
Awesome, thank you.
If I can shoot back to Paul very quickly, I love the photos. The photos of what you've been doing that you put out now.
Again, thank you.
I love
Appreciate
that.
it.
Thank you.
Yes. Sometimes we think we put too many photos, but
Nope. I for one, I'll speak for myself.
I like the photos. You can't dispute a photo.
Nope.
That's how
And
I
then there's
look
no
at it.
question about what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I can see it.
it depends on who you are.
Yeah, you don't have to photograph
Just as a
Ed's
follow-up,
house.
we did talk about hydrants a couple board meetings ago. Did we? What was any action or follow-up around that?
I can speak to that. So Austin is working through, again, let me back up. The request is cosmetic in nature. It is not maintenance in nature.
we know.
So Austin has worked and put together a very comprehensive 5-year rotating maintenance painting program. We're soliciting proposals on having a vendor come in, and if we just did a one fell swoop gamut and doing all of them at one time. So we are working together on putting together that program and then doing it in phases as budget allows, but also soliciting proposals to see if we could just do that one and done. And then that way we have a fresh start and then start the 5-year program. So we're following up on it.
I've got people complaining
Good.
about it.
Is the painting of those hydrants, is there any specific skill that's required for that? The reason I'm asking is, could that be a volunteer initiative? Or let's say maybe high schoolers that need volunteer hours, that painting hydrants would be,
Say no, the painting the screws and suddenly now it's harder to get it out. I'll say no. And the type of paint is very, very bad for you.
okay.
I wish, Doug, I wish, because I would be jumping on that opportunity. But unfortunately, no, not for this.
I thought staff was
Okay,
going to
all
do this.
We do have that plan ready for staff, but we want to, what's it hurt to see if it costs? Because the biggest time consuming thing is the wire brushing, the prep. And so if we can get
Got to decoratively paint them,
a deal on,
make them look like little doughboys or
In Boca, they are like
pigs
that.
or,
In
yeah.
In Boca Raton,
A lot of places do
there are
that.
different Key West as well. They are painted
A little
like
character
artsy.
to them.
Just paint them one color.
We'll put Doug's face on it.
anything else for utilities?
Nope.
This isn't the most opportune time of year to be painting hydrants, by the
Yeah,
way,
the rain.
just saying. But we're working on a plan. Just monuments. Nothing else for utilities? Moving on. So the FPL update that is in here, again, that was provided by FPL. It is a Q&A. I have met, Teresa mentioned earlier, with Michelle King as the project manager, and then Cameron Crenshaw is more so of the land use, ownership, their rights. And to her point, there has been different opinions of both, because Cameron, from a land use, they are entitled, these are their rights, they have the ability to do those things, to clear cut. From a project management perspective, Michelle, we've made it clear to Michelle, the community has made it clear to Michelle that we want to try to protect as much as we can, save as much as we can. But we are hearing differing opinions on both sides, but that's because their positions are different. Yeah, so that's all I have for FPL, but we'll
And I
continue.
forgot, well, Chelsea, I forgot to mention this. Was it Terry that was speaking earlier?
Teresa.
From Hampton Park? Teresa. I forgot to mention this to her too, but part of their group, and we might want to try to get this back to her if she's not in the audience still. One of the things that their group should be looking at too is what falls within Hampton Park's ability to put up additional landscaping and buffers that fall within their easement or within their property lines. I meant to mention that and I didn't. Because if things do get clear cut, if things do get cut back and it's not acceptable on their side, there's nothing they can do about it, other than if there's their own property, they can do whatever they want. So, there is an avenue that could fall within the HOA or within Hampton Park. They could make improvements, but it might just cost them something.
We did tell them that the first day, like, be proactive and plant now little things and will grow. So they are aware of that too.
Yeah, I just wanted to reinforce that. I know we did bring it up, but again, that
don't
should
wanna
be
spend
something.
money.
the committee should be
They
thinking
want it
about.
to be fully growing overnight, and it's not going to happen.
If I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
add one additional thing, just because it came up in Yove Diamond, from the Hampton Park Vice President emailed inquiring about something, which Teresa is actually the one who brought it up, and I'm going to drag this screen over so you can see it. But this is the FPL easement, and if Lipa catches up with me, this is their common element that you're talking about, Doug. And so there was a question that was posed by Teresa and Yove to me regarding a landscape buffer easement that is beyond this, that is actually on district land. And
Okay. I'm going to say before you finish on this one, the entire area from what you have there, they have planted calusias about 9 years ago. So they have, those calusias are way above 14 feet high. Okay, so they have a buffer.
yes, they do.
So
They want an aerial buffer is what they want.
But they cannot, even what they have now is outside of what, like if FPL really wants, say, hey, you're like, this is underneath the power lines and it's too high already. So they have to be very careful of how they go with this.
Well, so I just wanted you to be aware, on the county's GIS website, not LIPA, on the county's GIS website, there was a question about the line work of an easement, and if there was an additional easement beyond their common element that it was on our property, which I can show you, I can sit down with you
On
individually.
whose property?
On the districts.
But imposed by Hampton Park,
No,
by the county. Yeah,
let me pull it up, hold on.
well, if there is, then let's utilize that, give it to FPL.
There is not.
Property, the title commitment, title policy was issued, and an Alta survey, the American Land Title Association survey, was prepared that took all the exceptions in the title work, which has recorded covenants and easements, and placed them on the survey. And there's not a landscape buffer easement on the property.
Correct.
In that area, to my knowledge, my recollection. Chelsea, you have the Alta survey, I think.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to get to is,
Heard of this.
if I can try to pull this up, hold on. I gotta
I'm
remember.
gonna resend it to you. I can-
No, hold on. I gotta remember what this website is.
Is there a real berm in there? Like a berm or no? They keep calling it, but there is not, right? Because there isn't an easement on Magnolia against the high school that is not listed on regular surveys, which is a burn easement, which is for not putting in a structure, which is the slope of the berm plus 4 feet from the top of the berm. But anytime that I get surveys from residents wanting putting pools, I get my drainage easements on both sides, but I never get that specific easement, which I always wonder why, but I know it's something that Elle has shown it to me. There is an easement there, you can't do anything, but it's never listed on any
It
survey.
should be, yeah, it should show up in the title work when they do the title commitment, title policies. That's interesting. Unless
Give
it's,
me a second. Sorry, y'all.
I don't know what you're looking at.
I know, hold on. I gotta remember.
We know that there's the easement all along Hampton Park, but I'm not aware of any easement inside the easement of the FPL.
That's what I want to show you, because long and short, they called to question a potential easement. Tony sent me the Alta survey. The Alta survey did not have this supposed easement. I reached out to the local surveyor. They confirmed that this easement did not exist per the Alta survey, per whatever, and that this GIS, the county's GIS, was incorrect. And so
Where is it at on this drawing that you're talking about?
that's what I'm trying to pull up right now. Hold on.
You need to go further up anyway.
I know, I'm getting there.
yeah, Chelsea, it would be nice to know the basis for that entry, or that data point on the county's GIS. Well,
Yeah, I know.
There's the easement from Hampton Park starting to show up.
Sorry, y'all. It's been a minute since I've looked. This.
Who's the one who told us this to begin with?
Teresa. And she reached out to somebody at Lee County Community Development, and they called out what they thought to be per this, and it's inaccurate. I reached out to the surveyor per the Alta survey. Why?
Nothing's showing up, that's for sure.
Normally there's more. Normally there's easements that you can show on here.
Easements was up above there.
Where?
Right.
Oh, Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Thank you. Sorry. I haven't.
That purple line's what they're talking about?
Yes.
Can you click on that, right click that, and does it say what it is? Does it mention an easement?
No. Hold on.
Does it go all the way up the entire length of the deal?
That's the FPL easement. the
Yes.
purple.
So it's within the FPL easement.
Well, it looks like it's the extent of the FPL easement.
Well,
That's-
so the question was that these lines don't overlap.
Yeah, but
and-
If you recall.
those
the-
are not surveys.
I know.
They're
Well,
never-
I wanted you to be aware that this is what they were trying to call out as being potential additional buffer. And I had a surveyor look at it via the Alta survey, and that's not the case.
Can you get a measurement there? What's the width of that?
Of this?
Yeah, purple to purple.
Purple to purple or purple to green?
No,
Purple to purple. Well, purple to green, they should be one and the same.
This is Tony for the record.
I thought
There-
that was
there-
the
the issue
point you
might
were
be
trying
there
to
are
make.
actually 3 different easement documents. If you look at the Alta survey, it outlines where the easements encumber the underlying land based upon the instrument involved.
Looks like it's about
Right,
30 feet.
here to here?
No, purple to purple.
Oh, it's
Maybe even more than that.
no, there's multiple easements here.
I just want to go from the purple line to the green line.
You just said purple to green.
The purple and the green should be overlapping.
Well, I mean,
Oh, that's
Chelsea,
77 feet. Holy.
Chelsea, is Donald going to
something's wrong.
overlay the Alta survey over the LIPA property?
No, I didn't. I wasn't engaging because then we'd have to spend dollars to do that.
I can tell you, this is not, it says it right on it, this is not what you, this is not what you use for it, because if you go look at their entrance on the other side by Griffin, it's really off, so that means they would have lose it there. It says right in there, this is not a survey, like whatever is, yeah.
The big thing is right now, if that was there, there would be a whole new ball game.
Yeah, this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Alta survey references the title commitment and the instrument in the title commitment and gives the recording information. And
I just wanted you to be aware that I did that exercise and reached out and I commend them for continuing to do research and trying to find alternative methods of saving as much as they could. But unfortunately, it does not there is no additional easement there.
Okay. Going on.
All right.
Well, I'll be interested, this is Carol, I'll be interested in hearing what their meeting produces tonight.
Great. All right. And then,
I mean, there's a water management easement there, Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a water management easement, there's the FPL easement. If you look at the Alta survey, Ed, if you want a copy of it, I mean, I can send it to you.
the next item, if you're ready. Being a FASD board member, I would like to be on one of the committees. They said I have to have a recommendation from the board to be on a committee.
You have time for that?
It is quarterly. Yes, it is quarterly.
That's just paying, we're paying her, yeah.
So I drafted AI drafted a letter for you if you would be so kind to endorse me. If not, I won't participate in additional committees with our.
I move to approve.
I didn't even see lunch, I got Doritos and a beef jerky.
I think this can only be a benefit for the
AI.
community.
Are you AI?
Alright. Okay, so we have a motion by Carol, do I have a second?
I'll second.
A second by Ed, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. See, look, I said that
Look
like
for your
10 times.
signature later. Thank you.
All right.
I don't have anything else, other than, I will be on vacation. I fly out next Friday. I'll be gone a week fishing, but I'll be fishing, so if you need me, call me.
Never take vacation, you're
I'll
always.
be gone
away.
that same week.
She's always.
No, no, no. We're going.
All right, so then we'll move into
I'm
district.
going to be going on the 30th. I'm going to be in Michigan.
All right, so we're all leaving
I'm not
that
going
week.
anywhere.
Yeah, we'll put nice things on
Well,
the
I'll be
agenda.
back for the next meeting.
Me too. I will be back. All right, I have nothing else.
All right, so district attorney, does anybody have any questions to
No.
Tony instead of Tony presenting every single one? Take your time. Do you have any questions for Tony, Bob?
A million, but I don't want to go here.
All right, none, Carol? No?
How much
All right, look at
charge
that,
you
Tony. All right, so no questions, so district attorney project list. Future board business, same thing with Chelsea, anything besides the admin building? Anything else? Any questions on what we have here in front of us?
You know, I should have
The
started a
the
poll on
public,
that.
this ad, the public hearing for the August 6th meeting will be at this location.
Yes,
Okay. We might get some people out on that one.
for the fee schedule?
I'm sorry.
For the
Tony,
fee, for the fee schedule?
Yes.
this is Carol.
Yeah,
What time did you advertise that to be?
We haven't yet. We have a 10-day notice period in the paper. And that's one of the discussions, Chelsea and I always have this going back and forth. Do you want, if you think there's going to be more people in attendance than this room can handle, then you need to make accommodations to have a facility that can handle anybody that wants to appear.
No, I'm sorry. I asked what time in the meeting are you doing it? Are you doing it at the end of the meeting?
I don't know, we haven't set that
3
yet.
o'clock or soon thereafter.
It can be any time after 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
unless the board wants to set a more definite time certain.
No.
The rates were in the paper
Okay,
today.
so I would like then to suggest that we have the public hearing right after public comment.
So again, so the notice will say 3 PM or soon thereafter as possible.
Okay,
Organizationally, okay,
but
I hear you.
when you do the
Agenda.
agenda, let people have their public comment and then hold the public hearing and then, I
Yep,
guess.
we can do it.
Is there a sense from the board that there will be a lot of people attending?
No.
Wait and see what
Okay.
how it hits the street.
I just want to make sure, so she's giving me the evil eye for the record. But we've had this conversation about overflow, so there's no need for an overflow.
Every time we pay for overflow,
Never happens.
Well, the only issue is I take, because the sunshine law says if you have a meeting and a ton of people show up and they can't all be,
How much is it? $50?
then you have to continue it. So, but if you're not going to have,
it's more of a logistic thing than it is anything. So it's,
We have the staff, right? Georgia will be there.
Cross
I
that
think it
bridge
was
when we
like
get to it.
$350.
Randy will be there. Salary.
if you're not anticipating a large crowd.
We're not,
I don't think- I don't
I'm
think-
not advertising for an
They-
overflow for
they-
this.
They
fee
say they
schedule.
come, but they don't ever come. So,
So, but Ed, to your point, yes, the public hearing for the budget was in the paper today. That's what you saw. And the letters are going out if they haven't already. So in case you start to hear
We will.
anything, just so you know that that's, I would expect them to hit like any day now. Nothing else.
Okay. Next schedule, okay, so agenda supervisor comments. Ed, you want to go first?
nothing.
Carol?
Nope.
Bob?
The only thing I have is that PPCA is finally trying to catch up to us in understanding the landscape parcels that they pay for versus what they have responsibility for. And this is opening a new facet of easement discussions because we are now finding there may be some areas that are parcels that are owned by Gateway, but have heretofore been maintained by a particular community association. As far as I'm concerned, it ought to stay just the way it is. But that's just one person's opinion. So we'll probably get more involved in this. And it'll probably take a couple years to do like everything else. But be aware that that's going on.
Oh, perfect. Anything else?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, forgot. Our little episode out there at the roundabout looks like it cost us about $240,000.
Oh, wow.
What's the status of that?
So-
I got people that are saying, are we picking up the tab for that?
We've submitted a claim to insurance. We're waiting to hear back on what
Our insurance or their,
our insurance.
what about the
We
boring
had-
company's insurance?
Well, we had to start with submitting it to our insurance, let them deny the claim, and then we're gonna have them, the option is we can have our insurance go fight the good fight, or we can engage with Tony's firm to fight the good
Yeah,
fight.
Have the
and what-
insurance
what's
fight with
hap- And right now, this is Tony for the record, right now, is the group, the team is putting together the analysis as to what, when, where, and how in this situation, as to, the locates, the revised locates, the actual location on the locates versus the actual location of the pipes, and some other information that Chelsea, I think you're getting from
From the contractor themselves.
From the
for who did
contractor, and also
repair. So,
and some definitional issues because of the statute talks about, I don't want to get into all the nitty gritty of it, but it says if.
You can talk, you can
Well,
say,
we could utilize the board's direction if, my question to you all is, do you want to let our insurance team fight the good fight, or do you just want to direct Tony to work with staff on fighting the good fight?
I say the insurance,
Let
right?
the insurance do it. See what
That's
they
what we're
say.
paying for, let the insurance.
I,
I
We
think
know
it's
the
a
damage.
conversation because it probably will be in litigation that I think we should
Yes.
minimize sorry, Tony, I know that's
We
your
don't know
job.
how it
but-
got cut.
No, you're right.
But Carol, I think that, yeah, there'll be a one-on-one question, because I did talk to Chelsea about it. I think we should have a one-on-one questions with
We
Chelsea
had
about
damage,
it.
yes. We
Yeah.
had
then
damage.
the other guy, the other thing is the company Taylor, I believe,
Tillman.
Tillman. They are working here in the community and other locations.
Oh, yeah.
And I've talked to a couple of people who are pretty much in the know, and they're basically indicating these people are about ready to be thrown out of Collier County, that they have a record of this type of deal all over, trailing them.
It's for T-Mobile, just so I
For
did
T-Mobile, yes.
find out.
They damaged Magnolia. They cut my lines in front of my community, and I met with them, staff, and they said they were gonna be there this week to connect it. Nope. So I don't,
So,
like, they damaged in front, because they laid,
So do you have service?
no.
You
No
don't have
service.
internet service?
I don't have internet services on my gate areas, my cameras, my bathroom areas, all my facility for,
so,
How do they get in here to utilize our easements? Don't they have to have our permission?
they-
No,
None at
They-
all.
no.
because they're utility easements. So
Yes.
they just come and just say 819 Mark.
yes.
Well, they had to have right-of-way permits through the county, but, so the question is, so if it's through insurance is just gonna hire a third-party attorney to, to handle on our behalf, or we can utilize Tony's firm services to handle on our behalf. So,
What we, Chelsea and I have talked about, typically, it'll be contingency fee based recovery, and we can do that.
I just want to make sure, because I'm catching all from people all around the community, that they know what happened. Their deal is, we're not paying for that, are
well,
we?
I would like direction from the board if you would like us to utilize the insurance attorneys, or
So you recommend? I don't care, what do you
I
recommend?
would rather have Tony do it. I think he's feistier than an insurance company. Insurance
Tony-
companies tend to want to settle.
Tony's firm is more familiar with
Okay.
the instances.
And I'll make a motion, we support Tony's firm pursuing this.
Yeah, and what I was,
I don't want it.
no, thank you for that. I'll wait for the vote first. and
Wait for the
then-
full motion and the
All right,
approval.
so we have a motion from Bob to have Tony handle the litigate, the
I ought to
issue.
get a couple lunches.
Contact,
Contact.
second by Carol, all in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously.
What I would suggest, Chelsea will still pursue with the insurance company. It's also that, and what we'll do, we'll come back with a contingency fee.
Well, we just gave it to you, you just come and tell us later.
Yeah, we don't want to hear the
Yeah,
details.
Yeah, you just tell us later.
We'll have a contingency.
Just get the money, Tony, that's all. it is.
We'll prepare a contingency fee
All
agreement
that.
and then bring it back to the board.
He keeps talking.
Do you want to bring it back to the board, or do you just want to?
Or
Just
that
updates.
You're gonna
Just
need
normal
I
updates.
need to sign the contingency fee schedule for Tony,
Yeah,
right?
I'd rather have that come
I would
before
have
the
come to the
board.
board, yeah.
Thank you.
You gonna bring pizza that night?
All right,
with or without anchovies.
I do have two things.
Two more?
No, it's,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's none of this stuff. So I know you and I talk about, I don't know if you guys noted the new sign, the new logo at the monument on
Broccoli?
Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the broccoli at Daniels and Gateway. And don't take this the wrong way.
You mean the color?
Yeah.
No, you're talking two different things.
Oh,
You two are
So,
talking.
you know, the entrance where we have the griffin Well, that's gone, and now the broccoli's there, all black.
It's all black?
So I just don't recall us giving the go-ahead, Chelsea, to implement. I remember us giving the go-ahead to the admin, but if my memory serves me right, and I'm going to go with what Doug had mentioned, and that's what I told you, that let's create a theme or something consistent to come to us to take care of the, the Stony Brook and the Gateway and Daniels, and see if we're going to do anything on Griffin and 82, which I don't think we should. So I was kind of surprised to see the logo out there. Yes, if we pull those monuments, can we reuse the logo? Most likely. But I was surprised that they were black, and I was surprised to just see them there. You know what I'm saying? Like the admin, we needed our feedback to put it. That's like the front entrance of the gateway, and it was just kind of put it there. Does that make sense? I know we can reuse the sign. I'm pretty sure we can reuse it.
So actually Doug and I had a conversation about that this week. Is this the new monument sign is up? I don't know if you've driven by it. It's very difficult to see. The colors that actually came out versus what were on the renderings are very different. So I'm going to match the Daniels and make the colors match, and that's going to be the theme moving forward, is those two, that color, because it is a better contrast than.
You see the colors that we have at Gateway Greens that are very similar to that.
Okay.
No, but that's
that
what I'm
color.
trying to say. It's not what you're thinking, because my understanding is when we pick the color palette, that is our color palette. Not all black. And the monument in Daniels in Gateway Boulevard is all black, and then the monument over there, it's brown. So neither of those is what we agree upon. So that's my question to you. Did we either misunderstand? Did I misunderstand in thinking that all we were approving at that time was the logo? Because my understanding is we approved the logo, we approved the color scheme of the logo.
Well, there's a couple things when do you want to go ahead?
No, go. Yeah.
So there's a couple things in consideration when you're looking at style guides and color schemas when it comes to this type of branding. You can have your approved branding, which is your colors, which is what you use in probably 90% of what you do, is whether it's t-shirts or other branding things. But there are some exceptions when it comes to things that require like aesthetics from making things visual. So if you have like a light blue approved color and something else, if that is more difficult to see from a signage perspective, or if you're doing a t-shirt and it's literally just a black or white brand, logo print, you can have some exceptions. So I think what Chelsea is looking at is, yes, we have an approved logo, and I'd like for us to stop saying broccoli and let's just start saying canopy or something else. Just out of sheer principle, because and I do it too, and I catch myself. It's a canopy. It's not broccoli. But we can have we adhere to the logo and the font of the sign. If visually, in order to be able to see it from the street, if we have to change or darken the color, that would be admissible. It would be a secondary. It would be a secondary font scheme or color scheme, and we'd have to. But I think we need to approve that. As for signage, here's our signage, but we're still like for our building or for website design or colors, we do have an approved color wheel that we approve as part of our branding. That's the way I understand it, and that's the way I typically work.
This is Carol. I thought it was supposed to be dark green.
So do I, and that's why I was concerned. I thought everything was going to be the dark green. Then I thought, okay, maybe I missed something that now we're just gonna do that.
There in that style guide, this is Chelsea. In that style guide, there were variations of it. Black, white, like if you throw the canopy on a hat, you could do black, white. But we have the color, like even that has 4 different colors in it.
Yeah.
But the base, it can change. So
I think you just come back to us with like, okay, here's our consistent signage style that we approve, and then we can debate it, whether it's it's not black. What's the color that it is? It's something else.
No, it's black.
Black.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, like, I know you already have a plan for the one at admin building, so I'm not worried about that because we know we're gonna handle that. I'm concerned about the gray and black at the front, just because.
It has to be all consistent. I mean, all
Yeah,
the
and then,
signs should be
yeah.
consistent. They should be consistent. So just Chelsea, come back to the board with, this is our style guide for signs and monuments. And so we can just all agree, and then we can debate at that time. Whether if the
Hey,
black needs to
Doug.
change to a different green, that's fine. We have to
Doug.
debate it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Bob. Yeah, we have an administration building in Pelican. They call it the Brocky Center, but I don't have a problem naming our building the Broccoli Center. But I'll just,
Did you talk to Carol about that?
All right, I'll work on the style
Broccoli,
guide.
not Brocky.
I don't have anything else. Thank you.
You want to
Go
ask
ahead
Doug?
and
Doug,
make a motion
if
to
Steve-
adjourn.
No, you want to ask Doug if he has?
Oh, Doug, sorry, you have anything else?
Yeah,
You have-
just one quick thing. So with the, hopefully the completion date of the new building happening in time for us to do our tree lighting ceremony or holiday festival. I don't know what we're calling it these days, but I would imagine we're going to be doing that at the Commons Park this year. Is that the plan, Chelsea?
I would certainly hope.
I hope you missed it. For the winter fest.
Our Christmas party.
You want Winterfest at the Commons instead of at the soccer complex?
We might.
Well, I would think if we're spending millions of dollars to build a Commons Park with
We
the
wanna be
sole
promoting
purpose
it.
of being a community, the pulse and the center of our community, that we would do our
Broccoli for
events.
Christmas.
So
Yeah, I think we can do what the dog park is, like for like, put like how we do the fishing derby. You
No,
have
we-
all
we-
that grassy area, so you could do it there. It's gonna be not as spread out as it is
We
here.
ought to think about it, that's all.
Yeah.
Don't make a
Well,
decision today.
We'll contemplate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parking lot looks
I-
great.
yeah, well, and here's the
For
thing.
the dedication, are we gonna charge you?
Yeah.
It's problematic.
For the dedication, $2 a piece come in.
But here's the thing. It would be a great opportunity for us to promote the Commons Park, get food trucks out there to show what the community could see in the future, in food trucks and highlighting and advertising the courts for maybe potential sponsorship. To me, it would be a lost opportunity for us
Yeah.
not to incorporate events, all events
I
moving
just
forward
signed your
at
thing.
that location.
However, if you are competing with construction trucks at the same time, that could be tough.
Well, we wouldn't do it
It's
then,
the
but I'm
first
saying.
December of the month, right? The 8th,
First Saturday of
first Saturday
December.
of
Yes.
December, yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
which
Which
even that
one-
could be flexible, so.
We just dress up the
I got faith
construction
in
trucks
August
as
the
the
6th.
Santa.
Yeah, use the construction.
I got
truck.
faith in August the
Serve
6th.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. I'm an
I saw
optimist.
you, Bridge.
I'm an optimist.
All right,
Got some wagon
nothing
over there,
else,
son of a
Doug?
broccoli.
I move
No,
to
that's it.
adjourn.
All right, enjoy Brazil, Doug.
Thank you, I will.
Where's he at?
Visiting her island.
I'm driving back from Orlando. I'm not.
Oh, you're just back from Orlando.
All right, bye.
See
Bye,
ya.
guys.
Chelsea, we have a meeting tomorrow at 2:00.
Do you want to see that survey, the FPL survey? I can
Now
send
that I
it.
have this.
Do what?
The FPL lands survey, I can send you the survey from back in 18.
No, I thought about